Represento las calles de mi tierra, mi bandera, ay, mi bandera, Puerto Rico y todos los latinos, sonamos donde...
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
What's up, Sports Jedi Nation? Salute, man. This is your boy, BX Sports Jedi Kev. We are back in the lab here on a Saturday afternoon, breaking down Latinos with Wrestling Voices. Of course, we're going to recap the Big Five from WWE Raw, MSG, Fallout, the Go Home show before Stand and Deliver for NXT. Dynamite returns and rivalries intensify. TNA Impact, brutality, and betrayals. And, of course, the shadow looms on SmackDown. Before we get started, we are sponsored here tonight by Dude Wipes. Stay match ready, stay strong, stay clean. Dude Wipes in the Sports Jedi Network, wiping out the competition. G Fuel Energy, G Fuel your life. And go to gfuelenergy.com and use the promo PGH Chris. And, of course, Blackout Coffee, fueling. Stand up, wake up, and be a pro-America. So go to blackoutcoffee.com/rumba, use my promo code SportsJedi20 and save on your order. Now, enough. We're going to get right into it because we got a special guest that's going to join us this afternoon as well. Let me bring in my partner, the one and only, the sharpest mind on the channel, PGH Chris. Buenas tardes, mi hermano. Let's go.
A lot happened. I said last Saturday before we went off the air, let's see what happens this week. I personally, not too much happened, kind of whatever. Lots happening. Like you mentioned, we got a special guest, somebody we're both very excited to talk to. It's going to be a very good Saturday, guys. Good Saturday. We had a good Friday yesterday. So we're going to continue the good spirits, and let's bring in our special guest, man. Let's have this conversation rolling.
Absolutely. We've been dying to speak with him, and it's so much to talk about that we needed to bring a big hoss, the Knuckle Brew himself. What's up?
What's good, guys? Thanks for being here.
Man, thank you for joining us, man. We've been dying to have you on to have this conversation with us. And quickly, so what do you guys want to talk about? Let's go right into SmackDown. Because let me set the table a little bit, because we saw Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden. Stephanie McMahon, she interrupts and addresses Cody Rhodes and gets into he needs to get into the channel a level of viciousness, of maniacal, of to go in that Cody Rhodes, to be in that Randy Orton realm. And then we get the reveal that during the social media that we're going to find out who was on the other phone line. Now, I'm going to ask you, Haas, since you're a guest, your thoughts initially when you saw it was Pat McAfee.
When I saw it was Pat, I was a little bit deflated. I'm not gonna lie. I was like the rest of the IWC. But when he got up there, he kicked Cody in the balls, and then he started that promo. I was like, okay, I can get with this. He is saying what a lot of us have been saying on the internet, and I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. So I get why everybody was frustrated with Pat, but he won me over as he started to talk.
Chris, your reaction, because we shared it, we watched along with it. Let the nation know on that.
I would agree with Haas. It was one of those things where Pat McAfee, and you can see our reactions on the watch along. That's why I kind of wanted to go back and watch it before we went on the air. It was one of those things. Why Pat? Because again, I think there's a lot more speculation on who it could be. Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, The Rock. I think a lot of people were expecting the big pop, and we didn't get that. And again, it wasn't bad because, again, like Haas mentioned, what Pat's saying a lot of people in the IW think, including we've said this on our show multiple times. At least me, I feel the same way Pat does. Obviously, Pat's trying to get in the acting, I guess, according to his agent, Ariel Emanuel. So maybe this is a way to get him into that. I don't think this is a full Triple H call, but this wasn't bad. Like Haas said, kind of won me over a little bit. I'm curious to see if this will lead up to something. And I think that's kind of where I'm stuck if I'm 100% liking it, because, you know, with Kevin Owens, let's say Kevin Owens comes back, you could kind of redo that thing with Cody and Kevin. But with Pat, I mean, we know he's going to go to ESPN once the NFL starts, once college football starts. He's already doing things with the MLB right now and all that. So I don't know what it's going to really, what the payoff is going to be in the long term. That's kind of what I'm interested about, and why I'm not leaning towards the fully excitement, but I enjoyed the shit out of that promo.
Yeah, when the initial when Pat McAfee came out, I was a little disappointed. I'm like, really, Pat McAfee out of all the people? The initial reaction, like my panel, like you guys right now are saying. But then when he got on the microphone and spoke, he convinced me. He made it make sense. He crossed the T's, dotted the I's, like they say, and I started to appreciate what he's telling us. He was the voice of the voiceless, of us, the IWC, the wrestling community, telling us what we all saying. What we hear guys like JD from New York ranting and complaining. They were doing that on that promo. I still don't know why he's out there blowing a gasket, you know, with Pat McAfee being the person on the other line, especially when they make it make sense. I see this way. No one knew that Ariel Emanuel interfered and injected Pat McAfee in the story until after it happened. But when as soon as I saw it happening, and I like where he's going with the promo, when he went and spoke and lashed out on all the troops, I said, is this the new modern day manager? I've been a proponent that I've been saying for a long time. WWE has not gotten into creating new wrestling managers where new Bob, you know, the Bobby the Brain Heatons, the Jimmy Harts, you know, if you're an old wrestling head, you know, Paul Heyman isn't going to last forever. So we need that new wage era of managers. I looked at it that way. Is that them introducing where Pat McAfee could be a manager, and maybe he's not going to manage Cody, Randy Orton, but maybe other wrestlers down the line. You know, Pat, I like the way you spoke and hyped up Randy Orton for this match against Cody Rhodes. People are getting hung up on that, on the conversation when Pat McAfee, I guess, says wrestling has more than one family. Pat McAfee is not wrestling royalty. He doesn't have, no, but he's talking about reminding Randy Orton, like kind of say as a hype man, remember, you are also wrestling royalty. Cody's not the only wrestling royalty family. I thought it was going to head over to maybe Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker, because Braun is a Steiner. He's also wrestling royalty. So I took it that way. I don't know how you guys think on that. I'll go with you, Haas.
Okay, when it comes to the IWC, why a lot of people were deflated, like I was at the beginning, we were like, okay, another celebrity. Like last year, you know, we got Travis Scott coming, interjecting his way into WrestleMania. So a lot of people just want more wrestling exclusive people. But Pat McAfee, he fought Gunther last year. He is a wrestler. He's a character on the show. So we have to give grace to guys like that. And another thing, too, people are just upset about TKO putting their, you know, strings onto the show. But we have to understand this as wrestling fans. They're trying to sell tickets. So you can't get everything that you want, but you just got to give it a shot. And I understand WWE may not have the benefit of the doubt right now. I get that. But we are 2 weeks away from Mania. We got to let this stuff just marinate a bit. We have to let it happen. So I get why people are upset, but if that promo doesn't let you know that they actually are listening to your grievances, I don't know what will.
Great point, Chris.
Because what McAfee is, again, he reads the IWC. He's not one, like, you might think McAfee's big time, but he knows what's going on. Look at all the criticism him and his boys got when they were in the video game. Like, he knows the IWC hates him, especially as a commentator. So I mean, I like him because I like him in sports. So I think he, whatever. But I think people, the IWC, the diehard wrestling fans, they don't like him anyway. So like you said, Kev, if this is a way to bring him in as a heel manager type of thing, I'm cool with that. I think it, obviously last night it showed that it could work. I'm just curious to see after WrestleMania, is McAfee still going to be involved with Randy, or is he going to be involved with somebody else? Maybe Cody's next challenger or something, because I know he didn't bring that up, but you brought that up. The cancellation, Cody was supposed to be on McAfee's show, and that was canceled. They're definitely going to bring that up in the next few weeks. There's some good things to look forward to. Again, my initial thought was just why McAfee, because when Randy was on the phone, it just made it seem like it was somebody from their past that was or somebody that knows those two well to kind of set them straight or whatever. But it was something different. I liked Stephanie on Raw. That was also different. Nobody expected. So I'm because of the McAfee promo, what he said, and like telling the truth, honestly, I can get behind this a little bit more.
But even on the Randy Orton promos or speaking on the phone, he never said it was anyone from the past. It's just the IWC assuming.
It was just
when you assume, you make an ass of yourself, and that's what the IWC is upset because they feel like asses. They wanted Goldust, they wanted Dustin, they wanted Ric Flair, they wanted Ted DiBiase Jr. Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon is the one.
My guess was Kevin Owens. Like, I think mine was a little more realistic.
We both said that. We both said at the same time.
Owens. Like, I think it was a little more realistic. Pat McAfee, okay, that's not. I personally wouldn't have wanted an Arn Anderson or a The Rock or Ric Flair. For what?
Truth be told, your modern wrestling fan wasn't going to care. Like Ted DiBiase Jr., they don't even know who that is.
Who?
Right. They don't know who that is. Arn Anderson, unless you've been watching wrestling for 20 plus years, you don't know Arn Anderson. You don't know him. So,
and what is he gonna do though? Where's the payoff? Well, at least with Cody Rhodes, if he's gonna punch somebody in the face, he could punch Pat McAfee in the face.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You really want to see Cody Rhodes punch an old Arn Anderson or Ric Flair in the face if he gets involved?
They can actually have a match. Cody and Pat McAfee can actually have a match if they want to.
Yes, I don't want to see anybody getting punching senior citizens. I don't want to see that.
Dude, did you watch Ric Flair's last match? Yeah, I'm
man. I know we're going to talk about TNA, but they got Mike Jackson.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Leave that for Thursday nights.
Yeah,
actually, Mike Jackson. But it just boggles my mind. I didn't see Pat McAfee. We said, I said Heyman because I heard Bully Ray talked up and threw him as a outside the box, and I wanted to make the outside of the box connect the dots. And I went yesterday, made a video, thought it was how Heyman with Braun. Braun's coming back. I went that way, didn't go. I thought Kevin Owens from the very beginning. If you see our watch on being crispin on the Kevin Owens, because that was the last person that Cody Rhodes, you could kind of put it in the angle, you hurt my neck. You got me injured.
Right.
So go and get this son of a gun because he hurt me and he injured me. And go out there and there's motive. There's connect the dots with long storm telling. There's a guy who has a Mustang who talks a lot of crap, and he says one of his intro, long strong storytelling. They could have done long strong storytelling with Kevin Owens, but again, I digress. Look, the toothpaste is out of the tube. Like it or not, let's see how it plays out with Pat McAfee going forward as being the guy on the other side of the phone. When it comes to the storyline, I know that they could have had talked about history with Legacy and for 2 weeks or told that story. But like you said right now, Haas, how many people are really going to be invested in that long story talk about Legacy? Where, let's face it, Legacy wasn't really successful. Legacy wasn't successful.
Talk on it. Speak on it. You telling the truth here.
It wasn't really. So what's the nostalgic hung up that people have with this Legacy group with DiBiase, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton?
Randy Orton.
Yeah, okay,
I was a kid during that era, so as a kid's perspective, I'm telling, because Randy Orton was this badass heel, and he was great, and I think because the Legacy group was really just, it is what it is, right? You have a third, second generation group full of legacies. I don't think when they tried to do DiBiase and Cody as a tag team, I don't think it worked because Randy was too overshadowing that group too much, if that makes sense. So every time you'd see whatever, like they just weren't utilized as well as maybe they should have for being Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. That's why Cody left. I just think what Randy was doing, just me looking at it back then, I just think he was on top and nobody could touch him. I think he overshadowed the shit out of Cody Rhodes and DiBiase.
But my point, let me again real quick. My point is, if it wasn't for Triple H, Ric Flair grabbing Randy Orton on his wing, all three would have got fired. That's just my point.
Okay, that's fair point. What I wanted to say here, a lot of fans are jaded by the booking that's going on now, and so they're a little disingenuous when it comes to choosing who's going to be delivering the messages these days. Like, because you know how we was talking about Kevin Owens. If you get Kevin Owens to come out here, is Kevin Owens going to sell the rest of those tickets for WrestleMania? Just be honest. Is he going to make you buy a ticket, a plane on a plane right now, 2 weeks out, and go buy one of these expensive tickets to go to WrestleMania? Kevin Owens going to make you do that? No. More than
Chris,
likely.
you want to answer? I'll tell you the one thing. Kevin Owens will do the wrestling fans, which they already priced out, but Pat McAfee would do it for the upper elite that could afford those tickets.
And that's what they want. That's what they want. Like they know that's what's going on. The casual fan, the rich fan, well, they're not even fans, just people who have the money in Vegas at the time, they will come buy those tickets. Me and you, we've already made our choice. So the diehards are not going to buy these tickets right now. If they already haven't bought one and got a boarding pass for a plane, they're not going to buy them. So, but Pat McAfee, I see his show every day. Yeah, I might buy that. Little Yachty's here. I listen to his music. I might go see that. Oh, he's kicking it with Trick Williams. Who is that guy? He's interesting. Yeah, I might buy that ticket. So Jelly Roll, man, just won Grammys, a household name. So I get where wrestling fans are upset, but this is still a business at the end of the day. It is what it is. So that's all I wanted to say.
No, you're right. Speaking of that, Jelly Roll, I believe, wasn't he on that diet halftime show? The diet for the Super Bowl. I believe he was singing there.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. The March Magnus, maybe?
I no, the Super Bowl. The one that was going up against Pat Bunny.
That was Kid Rock.
That was Kid
Rock. Okay. All right.
Rock.
It was the other Caucasian. All right.
I am an American man.
All right. We'll move on here. Anything else? Listen, what is it? Let me ask this before we move on with the Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. What is your expectation on the match?
I try not to compare it too much myself. I think it's going to be a good match regardless of who's involved, but I believe it's really ticked down behind Oba and Brock and Roman and Punk because they haven't told this story correctly. That's all it is. A lot of people are upset, but the problem is they just haven't progressed the story as it should be. So the match is going to be good. Truth be told, I don't think I'll say this, and we'll probably talk about this later. I think that Triple H is mulling a double turn. He probably never thought about it before these tickets were going, but I think they're thinking about it now because a change from whatever the booking is now may be welcoming to new fans.
I think that story is going to I think this story is going to go beyond WrestleMania with Cody and Randy Orton. It's just even if they would have kind of told a little bit correctly the story or the way the IWC dreamt about it, I don't think it would have been the closing chapter at WrestleMania. They teased it they had a King of the Ring match, if I'm not mistaken, between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. People got that, and it was a good match. But are we really talking? Nobody's even remembering it as much. Chris, your thoughts on this whole WrestleMania expectation?
I think the match is going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if there's, we know how a Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania, it always ends with somebody coming out. So if we didn't get whoever we wanted on SmackDown yesterday, who knows, somebody could come out for SmackDown or WrestleMania during their main event. And it might make you forget about last night's SmackDown. But I think the match is going to be good. Like Haas said, maybe they're not telling the story the right way, but I think they are, with the Randy Orton, with the brawl, the first one where they kind of went off air and Cody Rhodes was bleeding all over the place. I think they spiced it up a little bit. But again, there are the Roman and Punk match. Me personally, that's just me personally, I am more interested in that. So, and I think some other people might like the Oba stuff and whatever. So I think last night too kind of turned some people off, but just me personally, it's going to be a good match, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more interference in the main event.
And Flash Wolf, we'll see your comments there on the Rumble app. We'll get to it because we're not at that part of the segment of your comments, so we're not ignoring your comments there. So just wanted to let you know, Flash Wolf, on the Rumble side. Let me ask this here: the Cody Rhodes, when he comes out the second time on Friday Night SmackDown, and I like what he said. Pat McAfee, you're kidding me? And I like when he compared it. If Hulk Hogan was the third man, and if he would have said it was Disco Inferno, would you guys be excited with that? I paraphrase. I kind of like when Cody went there. That was funny, but there was a lot of truth to that, Haas.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I don't think that was completely a work. I think a few of the things that Cody was saying, I think he was shooting off a little bit. Cause I really bought into his emotion in this promo. A lot of times he comes off as inauthentic in his promos. He was selling this hard, so it won me over. And I am not the biggest Cody Rhodes fan.
Neither am I.
Because I was a fan of his going into 39 and 40, but as it got progressed on, I got bored with it. But when he gives promos like that, when he lets you know that he's actually heated, because he hears the stuff too. He knows that people are saying he's boring, that he's getting stale.
This guy.
He hears it. So when he was up there somehow kiss my arse, I'm like, yes, I understand it. I get it.
Dude, I'm smiling right now because you just described my feeling about Cody Rhodes. I was a huge Cody Rhodes fan in the Indies, him building up AEW, because those promos were authentic. When he was a heel, he was saying a lot of the things that he really wanted to say. He didn't get the chance to say. Obviously, he became bigger. But when Cody comes off authentic and he makes promos like that, I even tell you all the time, I like when Cody Rhodes does that. My problem is with Cody Rhodes in WWE. Him going up with Roman in 39 was fine, but I even think once it got after that, even going into 40, that's when Cody, to me, he I know people like to throw this phrase around, and it is true. He felt like a politician. He felt like he was trying to sell us into what he was trying to portray, and I wasn't buying it because I seen the Cody Rhodes outside of the WWE. I know what this guy can do. I know what he actually feels because he reads this shit. He's in the IWC. So when he comes off like this and actually looks like you mentioned, when it looks like a shoot, that's the Cody Rhodes that gets me interested. And I liked it. And I think the last couple of weeks, even he's been like in that aggressive Cody Rhodes way. And I like that. It's, he's starting to get there. And I don't know if they'll completely move him heel, but him just showing that aggressionness, it's very, very good to see by Cody Rhodes for somebody that's, in my opinion and a lot of people's opinion, to the next John Cena, babyface, Make-A-Wish guy.
That's the key word. When you hear John Cena in these interviews, it's all, it sounds like an android pretty much. Like he's been coached so much to say what he needs to say. Cody Rhodes is going to that same thing right now, and that's why it's not working. Yeah. The thing about John Cena has more runway with fans. We've seen him pick up the Big Show. We've seen him do incredible feats of strength, things Cody Rhodes cannot dream of doing. So you cannot be mimicking John Cena. So that's they asking Cody Rhodes just to be Cordarius Rodington, whatever they call him on the internet. So
Cody Raheem.
Yeah, Raheem Rhodes, whatever they call him. But yeah, that's all.
Look, me with Cody Rhodes, I was happy he came back to the WWE. It was a lot of, I love him going before WrestleMania 39. I got invested when you saw him in the he's giving his torn pec at that Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins. Damn, this guy really is about, for us, the fans. But then I got turned off, and I knew he was a politician the minute he went into business and pointed at the WrestleMania sign winning the Rumble. Not even the WrestleMania sign, pointed at Roman Reigns. And Rock wanted to wrestle his cousin and close that chapter in his career. And then you had him with the boo-boo face on Friday Night SmackDown. And then you had Dave LaGreca going to pink robe and the IWC. And to me, that's where TKO lost respect to Triple H. Because Triple H didn't stand up as a boss and truck through Rock and Roman. So now Triple H with TKO, they're going to tell him, you're going to do this, because if you're going to let the fans, the internet, which they do pay the salary of without the fans, there is no wrestling. But if you let the wrestling community dictate which way we're going, where Ari Emanuel was friends with Dwayne Johnson and Dwayne wanted to do this match, you know what? For me, I think that's where Triple H lost his balls as a creator, as a writer, and situation there. They just listen. The story at the end of the day, people are not going to like this, and I still stand by it. The story was Cody Rhodes winning at Madison Square Garden the world title. That's where Dusty took the stupid picture. That's what it had to be, not at Philadelphia WrestleMania 40 when you had everybody but Andre the Giant come out and help him win the world fucking title. And I said it then, and I'll say it now. That was the worst mistake. Everyone says that's the greatest WrestleMania of all time. Bullshit. So much that they don't like Hulk Hogan, and they call Hulk Hogan a racist. To this day, until he's in it, God rest his soul. You should have let Roman Reigns break the racist fucking record at 1,300 or whatever it was, and let him be the longest reigning WrestleMania world champion of all time. But no, he politicked. He wiggled his ass into winning the world title, and Triple H went with it. And this is the repercussions we're getting now. That's just the way I feel.
I got one more thing for you. I want to move this along. I've been listening to a lot of wrestling pundits lately, and they all talk about how Triple H is jealous of The Rock. Do you think that jealousy is what changed that 40 match? Do you think that went into it?
But let me ask this question, Haas. Jealous of what? Triple H is he's WWE. He's the head of creative for the WWE. He married into McMahon.
It's more of being inferior to him, like going to be a movie star. He was never a big wrestling star like The Rock. And now The Rock seems to have more power than him, even though Triple H is over creative. Ari Emanuel and the stockholders go listen to The Rock. So is it with Triple H like, okay, I'm going to stick it to him like this? Oh, you're not going to be in that match with your cousin. I'm going to push the golden boy, and everybody's going to like it. And now the fans are, they're pushing away from that. Do you think that's a thing?
All right, Chris, I'll let you go, Chris.
Well, a little bit to me, like what I felt with this whole situation, it was like, okay, Cody Rhodes, no, The Rock is supposed to be, on Triple H's side in a sense, because The Rock is still on the board of directors of TKO. This is how I look at it. The Rock's with the suit and tie guys. He's not with the wrestling fans. He's not with Triple H. Triple H and The Rock's history goes way back. It's not just WrestleMania 40. I think WrestleMania 40 is the cherry on top. But their history goes like WrestleMania 20, 17. They go back so much of why they don't like each other. I can get into that all day. But my point is, it's The Rock. He's on the side with the suits and ties, and ultimately he's going to decide or agree or whatever what it is with that. I personally don't know if Triple H wouldn't have had a problem with Rock and Roman. I think Cody and the fans and Dave, I don't think they could ignore that at that time. It was so big. The We Want Cody thing was so big. I don't think they could ignore it. I don't think Triple H could ignore it and I think, I don't know. I think The Rock and Triple H should have been on the same side, especially with The Rock being on the board of directors and him as aligning himself with the suit and tie guys. I think that breaks that's some controversy with Triple H and The Rock.
Gotcha.
But I think they were on board until CM Punk got injured at the Royal Rumble, because I think Punk was supposed to win that Rumble.
I believe you.
I believe it.
I agree.
And fight Seth Rollins at the time, right? Yeah.
And they called an audible, and they made Cody. Well, let's have Cody win, and that has brought this clusterfuck of nightmare onto the WWE unto this day.
Well, it was because The Rock was like, I want The Rock. They went on SmackDown at the end, and The Rock was basically like, hey, I know you wanted this, but I know you won the Rumble and all this, but I'm basically taking it from you. I think that's where the Cody diehards had the issue, where The Rock just comes out of nowhere.
Because and this is where I push back. Then all Cody had to do was point at the WrestleMania sign because you had the avenue of Seth Rollins. But he decided to point at the fucking Roman Reigns and went into business for himself and because he was too busy pointing at Roman Reigns and shouting out the Young Bucks with his stupid sign. And and to me, that's why I lost him. You went into business for yourself.
I get it. You're right. I agree.
Seriously. Mm-hmm. And this is the repercussions of going in. And if you just stick to the freaking storyline, point to the WrestleMania sign, and let creative and the conversations and the talking heads and the boardroom meetings happen on which direction they're gonna go. But the minute you turn around and you specifically went to Roman Reigns and pointed him in the suite, you said, "I want Roman," and now the fans saw you want Roman Reigns again, and everybody's like got salivated. And then you had that segment with The Rock, which if you look at it, The Rock on January 1st, that first SmackDown, when he said, "I want to sit at the head of the table," everybody in San Diego, California, and including the internet, got fucking moist because they wanted to see that match. It's plain as it's true. They got fucking moist. They didn't need KY jelly. They didn't need any lubrication. They were fucking moist when The Rock said, "I want to sit at the head of the table." I think, the Greca had 2 fingers up his ass.
Oh,
seriously.
I look, I'm gonna say this now. I still think this match should have happened at 39. I loved Cody and Roman won.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But Roman and Rock in Hollywood with that stage, that's where the match should have happened.
I think we get Roman and Rock next year in Saudi, if it's still in Saudi. But I think we're gonna get that next year. I think we're gonna get it.
If they open the Straits of Hormuz.
Like I said, that's a whole different discussion. But yeah, if they still have it over there, we're gonna get Rock and Roman over there. If they have
I don't think WrestleMania 43 is gonna be the biggest in Saudi Arabia. I don't think so. All right, let's move on to something that I think we're gonna get into another rant.
Okay.
It's Sami Zayn retaining the United States title before Trick Williams lays him out. What are we doing to our guy Carmelo Hayes? Haas, the gingerbread man is the biggest. This gingerbread man, my goodness, has no toes. Ginger's got no soul, and Sami Zayn is putting fucking reality to the stereotype.
Let's talk.
I love that South Park episode.
It was great. So you asking me right now how I felt?
Yes, sir. The floor is yours, man.
Okay. All right. With the whole Melo Hayes thing, I'm with the hashtag. We want Melo. I want Melo at WrestleMania. He was the best part of SmackDown. He didn't lie to you in that promo. He was the best part of SmackDown for like 2.5 months. So yes, he should be there. Sami Zayn, they should go ahead and give him the heel heat now. No one likes Sami Zayn now. He is persona non grata when it comes to SmackDown now. No one likes him anymore. Even your diehard Sami Zayn guys, whoever they are, I don't know who they are. They only exist on the internet. I've never met a person in real life like this. So whoever loves Sami Zayn like this, they have to tell the truth. No, you don't want him with that belt. Trick needs that belt, or Melo needs that belt. Because when you saw it last night, Sami Zayn was just an aura vacuum in that ring with Little Yachty, Melo, and Trick. I was just like, man, please end this now. Get this man out of this ring. So yes, they are. I don't know what Triple H is doing to Melo Hayes, or did Melo ask for a break? I don't know what it is, but that man needs to be on WrestleMania. I just see it. He just needs it.
Yeah, look, I'm not buying the honeymoon bullshit. Okay, Kalani Jordan's about to wrestle at Stand and Deliver. This is about to be her last Stand and Deliver. You don't think a wrestling couple would say, "Hey, let's go on our honeymoon after the biggest event of the fucking year"?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not buying it. I agree. There's 3 types of people that like Sami Zayn: the Saudis, the Canadians, and like you said, the internet. Because I haven't liked Sami Zayn since day one, because he's been the same freaking guy since he's walked in the door when he met face to face with Cena. He's that same guy. He has not changed. Nothing to make me invested in the Sami Zayn. And like you said, look, I'm not into rap like that. Okay, I know very, very much who Lil Yachty is. I liked his first couple projects. Lobo, like I like Lil Yachty. Like I like his, you know, I don't like his music, but I think he's like a cool dude. He got some swagger. Like him allowing him.
He got mid music, Chris. Go ahead.
I don't like his music at all. I don't like his music at all. I'm not into rap, but I mean certain people I like, but I'm not into his music. But the point is, he looked okay next to Trick. I don't think he looked bad. I think if you sharpen up his promo skills and like, hey Yachty, try to be a little more. I don't know how to explain. There's something missing there with him in the microphone, but I think he could be something. My point is this: why didn't you have them interfere the match and do the shit at Triple Threat? To where it's like, okay, Melo doesn't lose clean, he doesn't take the pin, he still has his reasoning to challenge for that U.S. title. Boom, we still get some sort of version of Trick and Melo at WrestleMania, and you have the veteran in there to accompany Trick for his first WrestleMania and Melo for his big first WrestleMania match. If you want to have Sammy in there for that purpose, I'm cool with that. Sammy's phenomenal in the ring. But they should have done that.
Man,
Sammy and Trick one-on-one does not need a title. That's all I had to say.
I really think they missed an opportunity to plug NXT with this. Why we keep pushing this Sami Zayn train going right now? When you could get people to watch NXT with the Melo Trick rivalry. Like you're not doing your brand any justice, because the main show people now they know Trick and Melo. Let's delve into that more and see how did they become these two guys. But no, we're gonna push Sami Zayn again with no character development. He up here taking advantage of things. No one cares. It's sad, and they keep giving us this. That's all I had to say on that.
Yeah, I don't see why. Sami Zayn, did he really need that? Because he stopped the longest reigning tag team with Kevin Owens against the Usos. They were having a record number. They gave that. He was honored with stopping that streak. Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship run. Sami Zayn is in the record books again, breaking that. Dude, how much more you want? You're forcing yourself. Talk about politician and talk about someone who really don't bring much to get you really excited to sell tickets. Talk about selling tickets. There was people that online fake that wanted him to be in the main event, world champion. Sami Zayn ain't going to sell out anything. He's not going to bring that up there. He is going to be the Orange Cassidy of the WWE. Gimmick.
You're right. You're right.
That's it. Plain and simple.
He's a momentum killer.
Without the freaking hands in his pockets.
He should be the grapefruit. He should be the grapefruit. They should do a grapefruit match with him because that's what. Yeah, grapefruit is. At least orange will get you some sweet juice. Grapefruit juice, it's just bitter. That's
freshly squeezed.
Yeah, I mean, Trick actually gave him a little more juice than he needed last night because ginger snap cookies are actually good.
I'm with you on that. We could tell we ate a couple of those ginger snap cookies. But my point is, but here it is. I've watched Trick and Melo come up in the NXT 2.0. Watching them from Trick's inception, knowing Trick outside of the wrestling business. I had a couple times interaction with Trick. Great guy and all. I personally didn't want to see Trick and Melo oppose each other. I kind of want them as allies first. They tell the story of the separation of the Trick Melo gang. Maybe that's what we get here at WrestleMania, where Trick and Melo together unite, and Sami Zayn is the cause of and bringing them together because they're a force together, but they're unstoppable on their own, undeniable. So we'll see where that goes. I didn't like that Melo. I don't know. We can't say he faked an injury or embellished an injury. They're trying to sell that he got injured on the outside. When I did the watch along and I saw Adrian Butler, the referee of that match, I said they're not going to do a triple threat. I don't know the same referee again because he was part of the NXT on Tuesday night on the outside that said that Kendall Gray tapped. So I'm like, man, what a week for the referee. If for especially Adrian Butler, if he makes this and says no contest or calls it a no contest, or mimicking the Mike Santana, Steve Macklin, where there's an injury where they have to stop the match. I'm like, ugh. I mean, I was a little confused, and I'm still confused why Melo lost clean tonight, and there's no way of putting him in. I know. Some people want Dragunov in this. Why? He lost clean. I can't say that. I got to say the same thing for Melo. Melo can't be put involved in this either. He lost clean too, guys.
Mm-hmm. Like
there's no
this work injury of this leg. If you go, I know y'all were watching it. Y'all were watching it with, together. He favored both legs in this match. He didn't know which leg to actually sell, and I know that's just that's something small. You got to be watching hard to notice that. But you can tell that he wasn't happy with this decision either. So he like, okay, this is my job. I got to do it. But he know in his heart of hearts, he deserves to be at WrestleMania more than Sami Zayn. He knows that. So.
And you know what, Haas, what hurts me a little bit? This guy, Shawn Michaels, booked him in NXT like if it was him. There was a lot of Shawn Michaels, Big Daddy Cool with Trick and Mello, that we saw at 2.0. I'd seen it and I enjoyed it because I've seen a lot of those stories. Man, and Shawn Michaels rehash and live a lot of different things through Carmelo Hayes. I always tell you this. You want to see a good match from Mello? Go to Worlds Collide, Carmelo Hayes versus Ricochet. Phenomenal match to open up Worlds Collide. Phenomenal match. Mello is him. They don't call him for no reason, just to throw it out there. He could go. I remember the Survivor Series, the SummerSlam, when Dakota Kai, EOS guy, and Damage Control for him. When Riddle got suspended, I was advocating on my watch along stream. Yo, bring up Mello. Mello should be the surprise. I'm gonna mark out like a maniac here because I was very high, and I'm still high on Carmelo Hayes as a wrestler. But I'm so disappointed that they didn't give him his WrestleMania moment here for him to be part of it. Especially last year winning the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. You're kind of telling him you were good enough, but not good enough to be on the WrestleMania card. And then here, 2 weeks prior, you're not putting him in the WrestleMania card. Like, isn't Triple H and Shawn Michaels together at the hip? What's going on that we're not seeing? That Shawn Michaels booked him strong and sees high of him, but then Triple H doesn't. Makes me wonder what's going on. And I don't think, and Carmelo's very humble. He doesn't have an arrogance. He's quiet. I have opportunity to meet him outside of the wrestling business, and he's a quiet, humble kid. I could, at that time, it boggles my mind what they're doing with Melo.
I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Triple H had, and I don't want to make this sound like just a wild biased statement. Triple H likes size. Melo is not big. That's the only thing that's holding back. The man he got work rate all through the building. He's just short. And I hate to break it down like that because wrestling fans hate when you talk like that.
No, I'll be honest.
No, it's true. It's true, especially the guys that are on SmackDown, like a Drew McIntyre or Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, because if Melo was 6'1", he'd be in the undisputed title chase right now.
That's why Dragunov isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, Dragunov's what, like 5'7"?
Dragunov is not going anywhere because it was NXT and the guy was always injured.
Mm-hmm.
It was NXT. So imagine him on a break that the main roster is requiring you to wrestle. And he already was injured as soon as he got up to the main roster. He's not, I can understand where he has that bias in that thought process.
It was like doing the Royal Rumble when he was trying to get those chops off on Brock. That's what you got.
Those selling mother. Oh
and Brock will sell for you, but Brock ain't gonna sell for 5'8".
Because Ilya can't sell either.
Because Ilya don't sell.
He don't sell for nobody.
Yeah, he comes off like he's Zangief off Street Fighter. Like, man, you're not that big. You're just not. You got to sell a little bit, guy. It's give and take. So that's where it's going with this. So I think Melo, it's bad that he's going to probably miss this show. I would have made him a special guest referee, honestly. You got to put him on the card. He got to be there. Like, what kind of message are you sending to the people that watch all these shows and one of your best workers is not on this show, but you're going to include? Well, I don't want to talk bad on other wrestlers, but other people that don't need to be on the card.
No, you're right. You're right on that. Other wrestlers that listen. I'll say this and salute to you, Brandon. I see you there, Brandon. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday to you, Brandon Schultz, in the chat. Here's another thing: Rusev doesn't belong in that Intercontinental title opportunity.
Exactly.
What did he over Melo? Melo carried a brand. Rusev hasn't done anything but get beaten by Obafemi in 90 seconds. So, let's get consistency. Let's make some sense when it comes to people earning and the right to be at the WrestleMania card. That's that. You're right with that, and I feel bad for Carmelo Hayes. Going forward, he's 30 years old, 31, 30 years old. It's time, to start seeing. The United States title run was great, but let's see what's going to happen. Again, I would love him to go. The Trick Mello gang needs to get together where they could tell the story of the dissension later down the road. And they could have done that here, and then Mello turn heel and stabbing back Trick because they, for some reason, they want to make Trick Williams his babyface. Here's my thing: Trick Williams needs to stay how Trick Williams is. Don't need him to chase hugs. Let him be who Trick Williams is. He doesn't have to be heel. He wants to be a tweener. That's fine. They don't make him that uber natural babyface because then it comes out corny. The IWC will turn on him immediately.
When it comes to Trick, they want to sell T-shirts, and I understand that, but they have this outdated view on merchandise. They think heels can't sell merchandise, and I find that very preposterous. I
don't understand that either.
Yeah, the coolest people in this brand or in wrestling together are heels now. Heels, and they want to say, "Oh, the little kids are not going to buy the bad guy shirts." What are you talking about? I would sit up here and buy a Dr. Doom shirt right now. Why wouldn't I do that? You go get you Thanos. I go get me a Thanos. I go get the glove right now. What do you mean I can't sell merch as a bad guy? So do not kill what works already. And TKO, they're gonna do that, and it's gonna be very weird because you're gonna actually neuter the aura of Trick Williams by put him in this babyface role, make him more corporate. No, you don't want that.
You know what?
No,
I like
we
that
got
because...
it. Even as a heel, Kev, he worked because we got to see it up close at TNA. Like even as a heel, like he's still he's a good corporate guy. Like he's, if WWE needs him for like how they do like charity or community work, like Trick will do that. He'll also play the heel persona, but also do it in a way where kids and fans will like him. We've seen it close hand. So I agree with everything you're saying. I don't know why they were even trying to make him a babyface. At least right now, he works great as a heel. But he carried TNA as a heel, and it was good because you saw all the baby faces like Joe Hendry and Santana want to chase him. So keep him as a freaking heel. I agree. I just wanted to bring that up because he works he can be that heel and still be that company guy where kids and all that shit will like him.
And I'll give you an example.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll give you a quick example. Trick in his height of the heel in NXT run on a house show in Sanford in NXT Live. He was a big heel. He went up to a little kid and the kid and him got into it. You know how they got into it? In a simplistic, but he was a heel. He thumb wrestled the kid. He just did a damn thumb wrestle with the kid and had the kid and he was and zinged him and healed and pinned him and he kept the heel heat because the kids were like getting mad at him because he still worked as a heel and he was still over the heel and the grown-ups appreciated that he was supposed to be a heel and beat the kid in a thumb wrestling experience interaction. He knows, he gets it, he makes it work, and that's why I don't force something that's not broken. If it's working, leave it alone.
Man, Trick Williams is what they wanted Jey Uso to be last year.
I agree.
Ooh, yeah.
Like if Jey Uso could go out there and cut a great promo without just saying yeet, and this nothing against because I love Jey Uso, but he's just not a great talker. That's just it. And you got him want to talk for 3 or 4 minutes, he can't give you that promo. Trick Williams can give you that promo.
That's true. And look, listen, I will buy a Thanos glove over a plastic t-shirt any day, or a Wonder Man.
Boom, there you go.
You know what we're talking about. There you go. I love this. This guy likes comics, and I love this here. All right, let's talk a little more. Let's wrap up here on SmackDown a little bit because there was a lot of different things. This effing lantern. Please get the fucking lantern and take it into the closet and go disappear. I mean, this MFTs with this lantern. And then I like Tamatanga. Yo, this has been bad luck. Let's end this nonsense. Let's move on. Let's smash SmackDown. We got so much other things to take care of. Forget about the MFT, the Wyatts. Give him the lantern, disappear, and no. Solo wants to go smash the Wyatts. I'm like, fucking why? When are we gonna end this vortex? Does WWE have to release everybody in this feud before we can get over with?
I have no what does Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes and Ryan Ward and the new lady that they brought on? Oh, no, she's on Raw. But whoever's in this writing room that loves this feud, I just want to know why. And what's with this lantern? Like, really? Like, are we not paying our light bills? We need lanterns? Like, what's going on here? Like,
I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm lost with it because it's like they've been doing this for so long, and they have gotten nowhere. And it's like the big payoff would just be Uncle Howdy versus, the big payoff would be Uncle Howdy versus Solo, and they've done that.
The only reason this doesn't work because these factions leaders are not going for big belts. If Uncle Howdy was going for the undisputed title, I'm not saying I want it. I'm not saying that. But if he had big gold, I would buy the Wyatts. If Solo was a main eventer going for big gold, I would buy it. That's why this why it doesn't work.
Go to fucking Amazon, buy one, and move on. Move on. I got a lantern. Hurricane season is coming up in Florida. I got my lantern. Move on. Cómpralo en Amazon. Use my promo code Sport Jedi as an Amazon affiliate and save. So move on. Jesus Christ, this feud. And Solo's a neighbor of mine. I can't wait to see him in Aldi's and tell him, bro, move on. So,
buy him a fucking lantern and give it gift.
I've got 5 of them. As a matter of fact, when I go to Aldi's, I'm making sure I carry some. And here you go, bro. You need it more than 90.
And what scares me the most with this is they're gonna push the MFTs even more because we're gonna show the dissension. Are we gonna have Tama Tonga going against Solo for 8 weeks? Is this what we're gonna have? I don't know. Please no.
Listen, I don't mind that because I've seen Solo Sikoa in NXT. I'm a big fan of him. The street champion gimmick, phenomenal. I just don't want to see the MFTs. I'm sorry, Uncle Howie. I can't. You don't bring anything to the show. You don't excite me. The Joe Gacy, I liked him better when he was a maniac in NXT.
Yes, me too.
I don't like this Pepper Pig shit that you're going on. Nikki Cross, she needed the money. Dexter Lumis, he still hasn't talked. I couldn't care. And Eric the Red is just standing there being a big goof. And the same thing with Tama Tonga. You're a fucking 7 foot tall. Why are you not in there kicking ass and wrestling? You do is putting face paint. I mean, come on. Danhausen is more over with you with face paint than you.
Yeah. Tala must can't work because he just got the boot.
I don't think so.
Him.
No, he just has that big boot, like in the casual, Great Khali big guy, because he has not done a single thing.
And Jeff Cobb, he must love catering. He's there for the food.
He looks like he loves catering.
Dang. This is a retirement plan for Cobb, man. He just here to get this money and get out soon. That's what it's about.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And this is what's hurting SmackDown.
It's bad television. It's bad.
It's not good. Nope. It's not good. It's 3 hours of I don't know what we're doing here. It's like, it's what are we doing with this stuff? At least I know Chris didn't like it, the referee spot. I enjoyed the tag team comedy, but the one thing that I didn't like and I felt bad for our guy Damian Priest. Chris, I'm going to give you the floor on this one because you were right, spot on.
Look, you could tell the way that Haas was talking about Melo's demeanor in the match was the same shit about Priest, except it was way more noticeable. He is like, what the hell am I doing? I'm teaming up with the 50-year-old bald R-Truth, and I have, mind you, I know I'm the AEW guy here. I hated not hated in the wrestling world, whatever, not actually hate Danhausen. You guys know what I mean. Very, I did not like him in AEW. I felt like he was very much Orange Cassidy-like, and everyone knows how I feel about Orange Cassidy. I don't like it. I don't like it. The only positive I will say about it is that I guess they're making that legit. I wish I could play the clip because there was footage shown, so I am not going to. But I'm just like, we're just looking at it like on each other on the camera. I just finally said this is fucking stupid. What are we doing here? Why is R-Truth? You have the Motor City Machine Guns sitting in your locker room, and they are not your tag team champions. But no, we need Damian, which I bought his merch. I spent money on good seats to watch him and Mysterio while he was the world champion at Hershey. I am a huge Damian Priest guy. Punishment Martinez. Love all of that. Loved him for a while. But this is ridiculous. He knows this is ridiculous. What happened to We Want Truth? That went nowhere. Now I see why they wanted to get rid of the guy. All respect to R-Truth, but what are we doing here? We don't need comedy on this show that's already not that great. We had the fucking comedy with Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll. We get the comedy with I Show Speed and Danhausen on Monday nights. What the hell does he have teeth on his damn thing for? Even in AEW, I always ask this question. I know the backstory, so I know why I'm just making that as a joke, but it's ridiculous.
I really popped when Danhausen cursed that ref. I was dying laughing because this show was I was looking for a lifeline for entertainment.
Fair.
And Danhausen has not really entertained me much since he's been here. But when he did that with the ref and the Miz with the physical comedy, I cried laughing. So I can appreciate that. I get what you're saying with the Damian Priest rant because I like Priest. I do. I like Priest as a singles competitor. I'm one of the few people that liked his heavyweight championship reign.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It's the booking. You didn't book him strong.
You're gonna tell me you can't see Priest right now? Like, I know what they got going on with Mello and all that, but when Jacob Fatu was the United States champion, I'm saying to myself, why aren't they having the feud? Isn't Damian Priest going after the U.S. title? He's a former world champion. He's almost 7 foot tall. He listens to hard music. He's from New York. What are we doing?
I don't understand where this switch up happened with Triple H with him, because that's Triple H's boy. It was his boy at one time, right?
I'm a huge black and gold guy.
So
I know that was his boy.
What happened? I mean, because
him leaving him. Well, I think when they split the Judgment Day up, him and Rhea were doing the thing with Liv and Dom, and they moved him to SmackDown. They had nothing else to do, because when they moved him to SmackDown and like they did the backstage thing and we saw him, they made it a big deal. But you have Cody Rhodes on that. You have Orton. I think now where he is on the card and who's on the top of SmackDown, I don't see him going there. But there's no way you can't have him being involved with. I'm not saying right now, but after WrestleMania, if Sami Zayn's the United States champion, if Trick versus Priest, sign me up.
A big thing with this, we always talk about marketing with Sami Zayn and the Saudis. How come we didn't market Priest with Latinos like you got?
Well,
this is all across the board.
Kev, you know what? I'm happy that he brought that up, because now that I'm really thinking about it, as much as, look, I have not watched wrestling with my family since I was like 12 years old, because I'm an adult. But Puerto Rico Backlash was the first time in a long time, because it was in Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny. They spent their whole time marketing Bad Bunny. Now, granted, that paid off for Priest, because he ended up winning the Money in the Bank and got his WrestleMania moment, which very, very proud. I was, I would be lying to you if I didn't shed a tear when I saw that. It is, especially when I was, in Philly. My point is, they did him. I don't even know what went wrong. I think they just didn't know what to do with him after the whole Rhea thing. After they did that, the Almighty Twins or whatever, the Terror Twins. I don't know. I don't know.
Because truth be told, both of them together are boring by themselves. They're boring. Just true.
And,
on a personality standpoint, like from the physical charisma, they both have it. I'm talking about Rhea and Priest.
Yes.
But when you do not book them correctly, they cannot get in the room and just say, "Hey, I am great. Look at me." They can't do that with the mic in their hands.
They marketed Priest for the Latinos when he was world champ, because he went to the Puerto Rican parade. But that Puerto Rico Backlash should have, they spent a lot of time focusing on Bad Bunny, rightfully so. But it's like a lot of people forgot about Priest. Like a lot of, even the Puerto Rican fans, I don't know. I don't know, Kev. What do you think?
Listen. When it comes, two things for Damian Priest that was against him. When he finally got World Heavyweight Champion, the backlash to the IWC, pretty much insinuating that he's a homosexual, the gay Undertaker, all that nonsense. They tarnished this guy from limb to limb when he became World Heavyweight Champion. WWE panicked, took the title away from him, which I think his short title run was very underwhelming because the IWC didn't let it, instead of letting it grow. One thing that pisses me off with all wrestling companies, they don't know how to market their Latino wrestlers. They think everyone's Mexican. Oh, CMLL, AAA. TNA has the whole problem with that. With Slammiversary. Don't even get it started with Slammiversary with Mike Santana. They decided they're going to make him win the world title in Boston. Hello, McFly. Puerto Rico, there's a lot of Puerto Rican in New York. What's going on? But let's send them to El Paso to do media.
That's what I was going to bring up.
They came to Orlando, Florida, where I live here, and this is nothing but Puerto Ricans here. We have a lot of here. We're a majority here in this city, and the Latinos. And you had them go to El Paso to market to no disrespect to Mexicanos, where Mike Santana is Puerto Rican, Puerto Rican. I mean, he's getting sent, and the thing is, we had a festival here, Calle Orange, where we celebrate all of the Latin culture, and Mike Santana could easily come here and sell out, and then they worry about the underwhelming ticket sales at Full Sail for that event. Well, hello, marketing, take the temperature. Just because hablamos Latino doesn't mean that we're the same heritage. There's different Latino levels of Latino. There's Puerto Ricans, there's Dominicans, there's so forth. And this is where they don't grasp. They think everyone's the same. Everybody does la cucaracha. No, we're different. Learn how to market. All this analytics numbers that you have, where is it? Know your demographics of where you're sending and marketing. Damian Priest, like we said, they had Selena Vega, and they had Damian Priest at the Puerto Rican Day Parade with that world title. I'm hoping if Mike Santana is still World Heavyweight Champion for TNA, they send him to the Puerto Rican Day Parade with that TNA world title. He's been hosting Puerto Rican Weekend for the last 3 years in New York City. I mean, and then that's what it gets me with TNA as well. He's been hosting that event. You still didn't, and you got 7,500 people in the Slammiversary, and you didn't pull the trigger. And that's another conversation for the day. They don't know how to market when it comes to Latino wrestlers. They think they're all the same. And they all don't have some immigration status or their whatever. I don't know, and it frustrates me.
That's why I brought it up, because I know y'all have a lot of experience in that, and so asking about that marketability thing, and I'm glad it came up with Priest, because I'm talking to two guys who are deep off in it, so it was just good to talk about.
Yeah, it's just right. It's just right. Like, if Northeast, you should have that. Listen, look at and the NXT for some reason got it, because listen to the reception that Mike Santana got this past Tuesday at the Theater Madison Square Garden.
Bro, loud, boisterous. It was tremendous.
No,
I am still running off the high of.
I don't know how I could watch anything else after that. I'm gonna be honest. I waited till the main event. Not waited. I kind of just did my sports cards thing, because that was great. That was great. I thought the show wasn't bad either. I don't know if you want to get into NXT right now, but I thought the show wasn't bad as a whole when I go rewatch it. But yes, that pop for Santana is great, man. Is great. Happy they let him go last. Got him his moment. He got tagged in. Didn't get tagged in right away. I thought he was going to start. They got the hot tag good. I liked it. Good stuff. And I don't like Dark State, but they looked pretty good in this match as well.
No, and that's what you want. I don't know about you, Haas. When I see NXT collaborating with TNA, I like it on the Tuesday nights. Even, we see it on Thursday nights as well. But when I see the TNA talent on NXT television, they don't have to overpower the show. But to have a couple of talents on, it gets me more excited, more interested. It's not that the NXT wrestlers, when it's fully NXT brands, don't board me, but sometimes they're not up to that level of a TNA competitor in ring. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm trying to throw out?
Oh, there? I get exactly what you're saying, because I brought it up to you before. I want to say TNA is the better brand right now. Honestly, it's just on the wrestling tip, it is. Now, of course, NXT has the WWE marketing thing behind them, but when it comes just down to pure graps, TNA is the better brand right now. So when they do bring on talent there, they're going to bring guys like Santana or maybe a Nick Nemeth or somebody like that, to move it along for the younger people, but not overshadow them like you're saying, because even though as a business, you don't want to see your own employees overshadowed by your partners. So they're not going to have that. But bring in the TNA champion, people understand the power leveling there. You get it. So I get exactly what you're saying.
I liked it, and I like to see more of that. We'd love to see. Look, I've been one of those proponents, and I've said it to Mike, in the interview with him to his face. Go capture the NXT. I know he has nothing to. I know he does not. He don't have the creative say. I understand that. Character-wise, in kayfabe, I said, go get that NXT title. Go break some heads in that locker room. They cost you your TNA title when they interrupted the Rogue group. Go out there and knock some heads, man. Go get that It's time for a TNA wrestler to win the NXT men's title. How many times the Knockouts title has changed hands so many times into NXT talent. And let's face it, the women's NXT talent right now is a little bit above and beyond the TNA Knockouts division. But my point is now it wouldn't. And I know Eddie Edwards mentioned that he really doesn't want to work with NXT. Kind of finds it beneath it. But they gotta. It's a business decision. If you capture the NXT title, it's going to help both companies in the collaboration. And this is me saying this. When NXT women have the Knockouts title, you get to see it on NXT television. Also, it helps the talent on Thursday nights for you to go tune in. If you're an NXT diehard, you're going to go in to watch Thursday Night Impact. And the numbers are showing that the ratings continue to grow on Thursday night's Impact Zone. They're doing a good job with storytelling and all the stuff there as well. But it also helps when you have some NXT WWE talent holding your title. I know the diehards and the TNA wrestlers fans don't like to hear that. I'm tired of this NXT wrestlers taking the titles. You got to think of it as a business decision. Carlos Silva is a big businessman. And sending Mike Santana to Madison Square Garden and collaborating was the smart decision because let's face it, that's where Mike needed to be. I think what was the last Madison Square Garden card? We were like, where is Mike Santana? Yeah. Where's Mike Santana? No, Mike Santana, how dare you guys come here and you bring, I think when we're Ying Lee, and that was in November. In November, you had him, and you didn't have Mike Santana. You gave us Ying Lee. Moose, yes. That was the first.
Oh, that was the first one. Yes, the last one. Yes, the last one was Ying Lee because she won the title there. Yes. The
Knockouts title, and they were chasing. There was a title defense, but I would have liked, glad that they got Mike Santana there, and you can say in the height of the popularity of Mike Santana right now, good job there. At the end of the day, I thought. Now let's talk about that controversial finish, where number one contenders with Kendall Gray, Lola Vice. They wanted to make it a triple threat. We kind of felt that way. Did you like how they got to the end result of to get to a triple threat? I'm gonna go with Chris first, and I'll give you Haas. Let me go to Chris first.
It wasn't bad. I mean, I like the way they're getting into the triple threat because I'm very big on Lola Vice as a singles competitor in NXT for a while. I know she hasn't had, she's had matches and all these opportunities, but she's never really, captured anything. I thought the match was good. Besides the finish alone, the match was very well. I know a lot of people were praising it, but no, it was good. Kendall Gray is very talented. I think this is a way to get Kendall Gray involved, in a big match earlier on, and then her and Lola could possibly continue this. One of them is going to win the championship at Stand and Deliver. That's where tonight. One of them is going to win the championship tonight. So I think this is a way for them both to compete for the championship without them two having the titles, and they could continue this after Stand and Deliver. That's just my thing, and I would like to see Lola win it because I think Lola, she's doing a lot with AAA. She's been there for a while. I would like to see Kendall Gray still chase with her being newer to NXT.
Okay, I'm for the Kendall Gray mega push. I think Kendall Gray is going to win tonight. And the thing about it is, I think because Lola and JC Jane are going to get called up very soon together. I believe it's going to be a package deal. it's going to be JC Jane, Lola Vice, and Sol Ruka all together going up, I believe. So I think Kaylani is going to hang around just a little while longer.
Okay.
A little while. She might go maybe after Halloween Havoc or maybe Heat Wave.
Okay, fair, yeah.
Because you still got to have some ladies that people know every Tuesday. You still got to have a few of them. So I believe it's going to be a Kendall Gray Zarya thing that's going to happen very soon. You're going to have Zarya as the monster heel, Kendall Gray as the cute baby face that's young, and you could really sell that. I'm a big fan of Lola Vice, but I believe she's really exhausted everything she can do in NXT for right now. Like, she's been around long enough. Giving her the belt, that means she got to stay another 4 or 5 months. What's they going to do for her, honestly? Wait, they need bodies on Raw and NXT in the mid-card. They need them in the worst way. So,
see, my thing, I agree, but I've always had this conversation with Kev. And recently, they've done okay. But when it comes to calling up NXT talent, sometimes I feel like a lot of these talent, they call up all them at once. And they don't really have a direction for these talent. And then NXT gets screwed. And then these talent that get called up get screwed when they could still be on NXT for a few months. Now, for somebody like Lola Vice, I actually think her sticking around for a few months with the championship actually would kind of help her, because I think we can see what she could do as a champion and on top of a brand, even if it's for like a month or two. And then they could call her up. I don't know where she would fit on the main roster right now, especially where the AAA tag team stuff, they're doing that on AAA. They don't really incorporate that stuff on the main roster as much as they should. And I know me and Kev have talked about that a lot on this show. If they would incorporate like Mr. Iguana and the AAA tag team championships on SmackDown on the main roster brands, then I would be for her getting called up sooner, if that makes sense.
I would be scared to do that because I believe they would treat her like they treat Tatum Paxley. You know, they put their belt on Tatum for just a little while, and next thing you know, it was gone. Poof. And you got people that don't even remember it. And I don't want that to happen to Lola Vice because she has a lot of momentum going right now, especially with that underground match she had with Kaylani. It was great. Really great. And then she got all this energy from AAA. They need to go ahead and push that up. And I understand what you're saying about creative. Creative is the number one reason why these tickets are not selling at WrestleMania. They're the biggest reason why people are so disinterested with Monday and Friday nights. Tuesday's creative is fun because it's developmental. You don't go in with so many expectations. On Mondays and Fridays, we have expectations to be entertained for the 2 to 3 hours every time. So, and I get your grievance with creative. So when truly, they should call these women up and it shouldn't be a problem. But with these guys that we have in creative, they are out of touch. You know, they used to say Vince McMahon was out of touch. Every man in that creative room is out of touch.
I agree, brother.
They don't know how to book their men champions. They don't care about the tag team belts, men or women. And they can't book mid-card women to save their life. They can't.
And you know why the reason is? And I said this, and I would love, and I keep saying it, and I haven't reached out. I would love to reach out to Vince Russo. I know he's a very, very interactive with his social media with people. If you're respectful, I think he can answer the question. I wanted to ask this question to Vince Russo. If this gets him, whatever the case is. When he was writing with WWE back in the Attitude Era, how many writers besides himself was in that room? Vince himself and who else?
One other person.
Okay.
I listened to Vince Russo a lot. It was him and one other person.
All right. So it's 3 people.
Ed or something, I think.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
3 people, and then Gortz came later, whatever the case is. Now, when you see Unreal, there's a shitload of writers. Too many ladles in the soup. And a lot of these damn writers that they currently have on SmackDown and Raw, they're not in touch with the wrestling fucking business. They're Hollywood writers. They're storytellers. They don't know the emotion of a wrestling fan watching a show. They think it's in their mind when they're writing, it's a novel that, oh, this is going to make sense. Where us as wrestling fans have been watching the product for years, it doesn't make sense to us. It feels like dog shit. It feels lazy. It feels lackluster. But for them, they're working their ass off with their talents. Yeah, they're talented in writing and creating, but it doesn't translate to the wrestling business. Too many writers. When in NXT, you see the coaches and it's Chaim Bloom. It's Terry Taylor. Shawn Michaels. You have What do they all have in common? Ex-wrestlers. You know, Bobby Brookside. You have, you know, their coaches, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot of stuff with their in-ring promo and coaching and storytelling with the wrestlers. They're ex-wrestlers. You don't have that in the main roster because you have a lot of Hollywood writers and boardroom meetings and writers that are not ex-wrestlers or part of the wrestling business. They're from the outside coming in to write stories. I think that's where we're starting to see, and we see the big discrepancy between NXT and the WWE and the booking and because they make everybody look good in NXT. You know, Granted, they limit the amount of moves that they put, but man, that's great.
Because in NXT, like I just said, it's developmental. So you gotta make a lot of people look good.
Yes.
When we get to the main roster, it seems like they're only pushing about 6 to 10 people at best, and that's across both genders. So they're not here to make everybody look good. And we got 3 hours of real estate on Friday, and nobody looks good. That's a problem. That's a problem. Like, you tell me that Cody Rhodes comes out there with the belt, and I understand he's champion. He doesn't look good, and it's sad. So when you, it's so refreshing when you turn it on Tuesday and be like, oh, Kendall Gray looks good. Lola Vice looks good. Look at Keanu Carver. Look at Jasper Troy. Guys and gals are looking good, and it's something about the recipe with that. And I guess I'll say with me, I don't go in with any expectations, and I guess that's what it is. I have expectations on the main roster. I don't have on developmental, and they surprise me every Tuesday.
And that's a good thing because you're getting pleasant. You're going with low expectation, but you're being satisfied. My thing that pisses me off with NXT is the main event start. They cut it close every time, starting at 9:45, close to 10 minutes for your main event, knowing that they have a hard out at 10 o'clock Eastern time. To me, that drives me bananas. That's the only thing that I have, complaining when we're watching along and watching it at home. In the arena, I couldn't care less, because I've gone plenty of times to NXT on Tuesday nights. I've been part of that Performance Center. I live here in Orlando. I've always said it. I'm like, when I do go, I couldn't care. I have no care in the world when I'm in the arena, but watching along and watching that, that gets you nervous. That's the only complaint I have with NXT when it comes to their timing and their segments. Tonight, Stand Deliver is their big event. I think, my heart is telling me Lola Vice is going to win this knockouts title, the NXT Women's title. I think Kendall Gray is going to go on the run of the chase. Because I think they want people. Here's the thing: I say this, House. Why I'm going with. I don't think they want people to go to the live events and have the sympathy for Kendall Gray without having her getting pinned and not winning the title. People are going to want to pay money to NXT Live because you see they're taking a lot of shows outside of Orlando, doing NXT Live shows in different parts of the. They were in Texas, I believe. They were in a few other states, Washington State, and yada yada, where they want people to pay money now to go see Kendall Gray and feel mostly invested to see Kendall Gray win. And I think it's going to be Lola Vice who wins I keep saying knockouts, the NXT Women's title. And I think JC Jane, Fallon Henley will be heading to the main roster as a tag team.
Oh, you believe in Fallon? You believe they're going to call her up too?
Oh yeah, Fallon has been there for a few years. Fallon is. And look, if Lainey Reed was just a little more seasoned, which they might just say screw it, they might bring all 3 ladies up. Okay. They might bring all 3 ladies up. Fallon is good.
Okay, I'll watch her a little more closely because JC Jane just seems to just cast a big shadow when it comes to the faction. So I'll pay attention to Fallon a little bit more. So
Fallon was I thought Fallon was gonna be the JC.
Okay.
Like when I first started watching her, because she was the North American champion. I thought she was gonna be the JC Jane, but JC Jane just she got going. She's all right. I wouldn't be surprised either, especially if they want to call all of them up in a faction or whatever, come behind JC.
Let me ask you this, Haas. Do you enjoy Ivy now?
Yes, the presentation is great. I believe that she needs to be need a manager to be her mouthpiece like Gable was. Was it American Alpha, American Made? What was the name of that? Whatever that faction.
American Made.
Yes. yes, she just need. I can see her being a terror in the mid card right now. I can see it.
Fallon Henley a little more better than Ivy Nels. I've seen them both up close and personal. Okay. Fallon Henley right now is much better right now than Ivy Nels. I didn't think Ivy Nels was going to make it in the main roster. When they brought her up, I was very worried, and I'm pleasantly surprised that Ivy Nels has elevated to stay on to be a WWE main roster wrestler. So Fallon Henley, I could have no doubt about that. Fallon Henley could rise, given the opportunity to be in that position where I think she's going to be real good in the main roster. You're like, damn, where was this in NXT? She's going to be. I'm not saying she's going to be Bianca Belair. Bianca never held the NXT Women's title, and I regard her as one of the greatest women's wrestlers in this modern era for women. And I think Fallon Henley, it's not going to be that way, but she could hold her own. She's going to be much more. You're going to get much more. She's a little more better than actually Lash Legend, and Lash Legend and her has some battles. I could say that right now with confidence.
Got you, because to go with the Lash Legend talk, because I'm a big fan of Lash, because it's just
I love Lash.
It's really the presentation with Lash. She's still green in the ring, but she has the monster body that you could just sell, that she could just take over a division by herself. So I will watch Fallon a little bit closer to see what y'all see. So I get it. But to go back to the match, the reason I see Kendall Gray winning is because I believe it's going to be a new wave of women to come take over NXT, because I think it's going to be a mass exodus of people going up this year for women. I think it's going to be probably between 5 and 7 women that get called up by the end of the year. Go ahead.
No, you know why, Haas? I like Lola Vice, because I think they're going to set up a NXT Women's title versus AAA Reina's title with with the current champion. Is it Famer or is it one of the Toxicas? She's been champion for almost 900 plus days, and I think Lola's going to be a double champ for AAA, and then she'll go to the main roster once that's up. Because not for nothing, she's making a boatload of money. And people go to see Lola at AAA, and I don't know, to sit around in catering and not have nothing for her, it'd be a shameful disservice if Lola Vice if they don't take the money that they're getting at Monterrey and all the different places in Mexico, with Lola Vice showing up and working and getting better, because she's getting much better with the bumps and the work rate that she's getting. So that's why I think I could see Lola Vice being double champion.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I see it. To go with Lola, and like I said, I see her on the main roster. I can see it immediately. But to go back with main roster talk, with especially when it comes to women, the mid card is being held hostage by women that should be in the main event. Like we got Becky Lynch and AJ Lee just holding this belt. We got that's for people for younger women, and I understand they got disenchanted with Maxine Dupree and everything, but Maxine needs those reps. We don't need Natalia in the mid card just fooling around. Like why do we have you got Julia with the U.S. title right now, and I believe they're going to end up taking off her for Tiffany soon. Why are we doing this? Like we got to call. We got all this talent, and we only got a few people that's showcased on television. And that's going to lead to people getting released. And that's very sad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because creatively, you're hurting the talent. The talent is not doing anything wrong. You can't book them. And it's terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing when those titles first came out, too. It was like, I know a lot of people wanted Bailey or one of these big people to be like the first champion. I'm like, why? This champion's meant for, like, at the time, Lyra, Roxanne. Those are the people that should be holding the title.
Yes.
Even Julia, to a degree. I don't think now, they haven't booked her well, but even Julia was fine. You could have put it on Stephanie any one of those people coming up would have been fine. But again, Becky Lynch has been the face of that women's Intercontinental Champion forever now. And again, this feud with AJ, I kind of wish they didn't have their Elimination Chamber match, because now I don't want to see their match at WrestleMania.
I've been done with it since WrestlePalooza, honestly. I don't care to see it.
So, I mean, yeah, true. Me too. But them one-on-one, I think we shouldn't have got that at the Chamber, because now I don't want to see it. Now I think it should give me like Roxanne versus AJ.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling AJ Lee return. I'm sorry. want to. I like, the mixed tag match was great to see her back, the pop and reaction she's got. But there's something that I don't know. I feel like, it's, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Maybe a different, I kind of want to see Roxanne Perez and AJ Lee more than Becky Lynch and AJ Lee.
It don't hit hard for me because I was not watching WWE when AJ Lee was leading the Divas division. I wasn't watching, so the nostalgia pop is not for me. I don't see it. Her presentation, she's small. She's not as plucky as she's supposed to be. Like it's just bad television for me, honestly. She can speak a little bit, but her being Punk's wife, she gets that. But I don't care. I don't care about AJ Lee. I don't.
No, and hopefully they could do something in WrestleMania, the aftermath afterwards, for Becky and AJ Lee when they go their separate ways and separate feud, the blow off match between these two ladies for that, and we'll see where it goes. And look, this is something that I want, like you said, releases. It's creative. These ladies come in, they're ready to go. Julia, look, I said this to Chris, and I'll say this again, and I'll say it even more. Two ladies that are not being booked well in the WWE that they brought in with a lot of fanfare is Stephanie Becker and Julia. Right now, Tekla and Persephone, you give me those two ladies, I'm 1,000%. And AEW's got a better of the two ladies, personally. If I knew what I knew, hindsight 2020, I wish they would have gotten Tekla and Persephone and let them keep those two, Julia and Stephanie Becker. They don't speak English. They don't cut the promos. They don't get us invested in a company that is heavy in promo and speaking. And when they wouldn't work well in AEW because Julia could wrestle her ass off, that WWE doesn't even emphasize, and so can Stephanie. But when they speak, Stephanie, I don't care. That's where I'm at. Stephanie, I can't care, and I speak the language.
That goes to our manager talk. We need managers in the worst way. And
exactly, I've been big on that. They need managers, and they're never going to do it because they consider it as a salary. Or we're going to pay a salary. They need to get over on their own. You need someone. Everyone needs to tell a storyteller. You need a narrator. It goes back to the days in the Bible, man. This is Holy Week. Aaron was Moses' voice. Moses had a speech impairment, and he got the people. And let's take it there. Let's take it there. You need a freaking manager. You need a mouthpiece, guys. And they need to do that here, even in wrestling, in 2026.
Yes, sir.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So, anything else when we move on? Can we move on to AEW?
Yeah, let's go to AEW.
Talk about the men's.
Go.
Okay. I want to talk about the men's title. We got
yes, go for it. Yes, absolutely. Why could we miss that? Go for it.
Okay, I think Tony D'Angelo's going to win. They've been pushing him as the main character in the men's division the whole year, and he has me very invested. When he came up here and took Dark State out by himself, and they've been giving him a very strong presentation. And I think Ethan Page and Ricky Starks going to get called up. Well, Ricky Saints, my bad. They're both going to get called up pretty soon. Go ahead and give the division to Tony D'Angelo. I believe he can take the keys and run it. I believe he could because Joe Hendry's very good. How everybody likes Danhausen. I like Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. I enjoy it. And I believe Joe Hendry needs to be on the main roster as well. He's already 36. How much leeway are you going to give him with the NXT title? So go ahead and put it on Tony D. I believe D'Angelo is here for it. So that's me.
I agree. The only thing I would say is I agree. And if they decide to retain it on Joe Hendry, Tony D should be the next one. But I agree.
Tony D, if he is, he's not going to be champion for long. I don't know. It's just, and it's just a little bit of a, I don't know. I can understand. Would like to see something different when it comes to Tony D'Angelo. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see him like those three men in the main event scene. They belong on the main roster, all three except for Tony D'Angelo. Maybe Tony D'Angelo is this champion, and I can see Miles Bourne later down the road in the end of the year taking that title. Other men that they're preparing.
It's going to be Keanu Carver, I believe.
Shiloh Hill.
I like Shiloh Hill. I really do. I do. But it just seems like they're pushing Keanu Carver down our throats. They're doing it. And I hate his finisher. I like the demeanor that they give him. His finisher is garbage, so they need to go back to the PC with that one. But they are really giving us Keanu Carver something serious. So I think it's gonna be Tony D and Keanu Carver later, probably. What's the next big pay-per-view for next PLE after Stand Deliver?
Well, they're probably gonna have Spring Break-In, a television show like they normally do, and then it'll probably be No Mercy. No Mercy is usually in the middle of the year. Like the Heat Wave is coming up. They switch them a lot, different ones. Great American Bash, Heat Wave, etc., etc. Don't know exactly what order they do it sometimes, but I know Spring Break is coming up, or Break-In is coming up for one of the specials CW. Unless sometimes they make it a pay-per-view, sometimes they don't. So I will find out tonight. After Stand Deliver, they'll probably mention what's the next PLE that they'll come live on there, and we'll see where that goes with that. There, interesting to see.
Because I feel like they gave Keanu and Jasper Troy the Booker T stamp of approval, and I really believe Shawn Michaels is really behind Keanu Carver. So I think that's going to be the next big male that they push, because the male division is kind of lacking on. If you watch it on Tuesdays, we're watching the women in the tag scene mostly. So the men's single division it's got to be propped up. So I believe it's going to be one of the younger guys that come after Tony D.
And the thing is, I'm not feeling Jackson Drake. I'm not feeling any of the guys from Vanity Project.
You don't like Vanity Project? You don't like them?
I can't get. I don't know. There's something missing with them that I don't know what it is. It could be what Pat McAfee said. The 5 foot, the under 6 foot wrestlers are something that Listen, this is, and I'm gonna be. And fucking Vince McMahon got me thinking always. If they're not giants, 6'4", 6 foot, in the land of the big giants, they're not good. I gotta break that from me as that prejudice in me, because if they're five, it's hard. If they're not tall, that's why I don't like Daniel Bryant, because he's a troll, a little midget. Rey Mysterio, because he's Latino, and I'm not clamoring to see his matches either. He's great, but because to me he's always been a cruiserweight. It's not, and it's just me. It's me. This is just me, because Vince McMahon conditioned me, from a kid in 1983 to always like the big giant, larger than life men. The guys that my goodness, not someone that I could go outside when I'm going to rake my leaves and it's the same size on my television screen. That's just me, guys. That's just me.
I get it.
It's just me. That's all. And it's a prejudice I got to break. That's just me. I got to have an open mind. And right now I'm closed-minded, and I can't see myself rooting for someone under 6 feet tall, except for Carmelo Hayes.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's hard for me. I'm a 6'3", 300-pound man. It's hard for me to go the other way with that one. It's hard. Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. I'm 5'11" without a haircut, and it's like, come on, I need someone bigger, tall, and like really. So yeah, I get you on that. So we'll see what happens here when it comes to NXT. We're going to be live for the watch along in a couple hours, so we're going to be getting into All Elite Wrestling. But before we get All Elite Wrestling, I got to shout out our sponsors, man. So we got to give our sponsors. Let's hear from Dude Wipes.
All right, quick break. Don't go anywhere. This segment is sponsored by Dude Wipes. Whether you're grinding through work, hitting the gym, or locked in for a full night of wrestling, Dude Wipes help you stay fresh. Simple as that. Portable, convenient, and designed for real life. And of course, this show is powered by the Sports Jedi Network. Independent wrestling coverage, real discussion, and a community that actually knows the product. If you rock with what we do here, support the sponsors that support the channel. Now, let's get back to the breakdown. Take it away, PGH Chris and Sports Jedi Kev.
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
Thank you, Jody Threat. Chris! All Elite Wrestling, Chris.
Yes, I'm gonna set you guys. So there's only two things a couple things from this show. We're gonna get to the spicy stuff here. I know we got Stand Delivered soon. We got to talk about what they started off with, which we're gonna start off with, and that is the return of Chris Jericho.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, guys. He's back. He's back. He comes back in his hometown. I'm going to tell you this crowd sucked the entire night. He was in the ring for standing there waiting for you guys to be loud. and you guys were just standing there. You guys did not get. It was so quiet. Anyway, he's back with AEW. A lot of people speculated he was going to be with the WWE, and I'm going to say this. I didn't give a shit where Chris Jericho went because I would have watched him anywhere. I think Chris Jericho is one of the greatest of all time. That's just my opinion, top 10. And he, he's a big name, and I think AEW needs him tremendously. They're hot right now, at least, quotation marks. This is my thing, though. What does he need to do in AEW that he hasn't already? He's the first champion. He's the reason why they had their TV deals. They tried to do shit with him in Ring of Honor to get Ring of Honor like a TV deal. Didn't go anywhere. The learning tree thing wasn't that great. I don't know if the AEW fans really wanted him back. I just think AEW is where he wants to be. I personally wouldn't have mind him going to the WWE because, it would have been something fresh for him, at least now in 2026. We know he doesn't have much time left. There are obviously some people that we would like to see him go in the ring against in WWE. For whatever reason, it didn't happen, but he says he's home. Guys, he's home in AEW. Start off with you, Haas. What do you think about Chris Jericho coming back to AEW and not coming to the WWE?
I'm going to be biased. I am a big Chris Jericho fan. I've loved Chris Jericho since WCW. But when it comes to the AEW fandom, and this is where we get into arguments on the internet with these people, with me, honestly. I find the modern AEW fan is a move-lusting fan. They love moves. Like they want to see pick a fighter, fight. No promos, nothing to get you, no sports entertainment. They just want to see 30-minute 5-star classics for the most part. So when it comes to Chris Jericho, your AEW fans don't want no part of him because all he's going to do is just talk and sell matches. I love that. I want to see that. I don't care how old he is, honestly, even though I'm not a big proponent of having 55-year-old main eventers. But if you're going to sell matches and have me here for Wednesday nights, I need Chris Jericho on television. But most AEW fans do not feel me on that one. So that's me on Chris Jericho. I'm a Jericho-holic, and I'm not afraid to say it.
All right, here we go. Chris Jericho. Nobody wanted him in Elite Wrestling. To me, Chris Jericho said, I'm home. Doesn't mean he's home in AEW. He's home in his Winnipeg, Providence. Like the way I went to New York this past July, and when I got out to the airport, when I got to the Bronx, I said, I'm home. Because I'm from the Bronx, but I live in Orlando, Florida. But I always will call the Bronx home. I said home. That's what he said. You know what? The ring is home for him. To me, Chris Jericho is just going to ride out his service time or added time that Tony Khan gave him, and he's going to leave. Plain and simple. Because who's the first feud for Jericho that's going to get you guys moist? Because the AEW fans, all they love to say, this is to me, that's their favorite word. Cow Fletcher, Cow Fletcher, Cow Fletcher. That's all you guys like to say. Meanwhile, that's it. Who is Chris Jericho going to feud with that he hasn't, and it's going to get the AEW fans excited? Wait, no one.
Oh, no one. Absolutely no one. Honestly, with Chris Jericho, for me, I would make him a manager, even though I don't know how he would feel about it. I would make him Takeshita's manager when he gets bounced out of the Don Callis family.
That's a good one.
And we're gonna give Takeshita this big baby face run. We know that he cannot speak this language like he should. So give me somebody that can get us going. It's Chris Jericho. And like you said, you believe Chris Jericho is just going to ride out his contract,
that's it,
his service time. If that's the case, get these young guys over by not taking a pin. Give him a faction for real this time. He don't have to wrestle. Just let him get these guys over. Because
you notice none of the wrestling so-called insiders, the .nets, the .orgs, the Cokes R Us, Sean Ross Saps and all. They haven't said Jericho signed a contract extension. Mm-hmm. They keep you that to because they would have been, oh no, he's not going anywhere. He signed it 3 years, and if he did sign a contract extension, he has kids in college. Mm-hmm. That's a smart move. If you got a billionaire who's willing to give out millions to wrestlers so they can go to WWE and he has kids going to college, I'm not going to get mad with Chris Jericho to taking the money and staying only wrestling. I don't think he did sign an extension. To me, he's just writing out, all right, you got service time? I'll run it out. You know what's going to be the telltale sign? The amount of people he's booking on the Jericho cruise. Because how many AEW wrestlers does he have on that Jericho cruise? If he's really staying long term, right now he's got nothing, 0. So I always look at those type of tea leaves. So he's just going to ride out his time. If he's going to stay long, and you want the AEW fans to love Chris Jericho, put him in a feud with Ricochet. Go him knock Ricochet's teeth down his throat.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, I agree. I agree. And I heard what you guys just said. Sorry, I had to take care of something real quick. But I'm kind of on the thing as what's Jericho gonna do in WWE now, or excuse me, in AEW? What's there for him to do? I said this, you guys can check out my AEW post shows. I go live immediately right here after Dynamite's over. And I said this.
He didn't sign a new contract. Who said, sorry, where did he sign a new contract? Because that would have been reported and stooged everywhere.
Mm-hmm. He didn't sign a new contract. He's currently probably in the middle of his. I think a lot of people said this contract was up in like January or like January at midnight or for New Year's or whatever. So I think people were speculating. He could be there on a pay appearance deal.
Could be.
We don't know. The point is he's back. He says he's home. He's staying there clearly. So now I have to ask the question, what is there going to do with him? The only thing I can see, if he stays there as a baby face, I've been saying this for a while. I like what AEW is doing when they have MJ or all the baby faces, Kenny, Swerve when he was kind of the baby face, Hangman, Darby Allin, Speedball. All these baby faces are challenging the mega heel in your company. If they want to portray Jericho as that mega baby face to challenge MJF, fine. My problem, guys, he works better as a heel. And in AEW, it's proved it. Especially during that Inner Circle era.
Oh, yeah, the Ocho stuff? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
El Champion. Jericho's a backstage producer when he's done. They don't even listen to the current producers they have now. They're going to listen to Jericho. They have a bunch of, they've got like 20,000 producers from Pat Buck to Big Show to Mark, when Mark Henry was there. Who else?
Mark Henry even says himself that they don't listen. Nobody goes up, dude. Nobody like a Sammy Guevara or one of these people go up to these producers and say, hey, OG, hey, Unc, how can I do this better? What do you think? No, I'm on fucking TV. I've made it. That's a lot of, and I've had that complaint about AEW since day one. And not day one, but like that second year, especially when Punk got there. And when they did the AEW like backstage, like the reality, like their version of Unreal, it confirmed it that nobody in there is really in charge and that these people can do whatever they want. So I don't think Jericho being a backstage producer would benefit him in any way.
Not only that, yeah, go ahead, Ross. Sorry.
Okay. This is where Tony Khan being a mark hurts him because he doesn't pay attention to his fan base. He does a little bit, but not as he should. Because if you book Chris Jericho right now to go here and pin Kyle Fletcher, these people are going to riot. There's going to be a mutiny. It's going to be sickening. If you go out here and have him pin Will Ospreay, what you think these fans going to do? They don't want to see Chris Jericho win, and they don't want to see him wrestle at all. So if you want to just let hup go, your fans would have probably went up another 1,000 people because these people they're not watching wrestling like I do. They up here just want to see the graphs. No one wants to see Chris Jericho wrestle in AEW. So that I don't know what Tony Khan sees as a marketability standpoint for Chris Jericho. I don't know what he sees.
I don't think he's. I think this is a thing where he's just he returned to AEW. I don't know if he signs an extension because he signed an extension in 2022 going to 2025. I think if he signed something, I don't think it's for the long term. But again, if he's not signing anything for the long term, why is he going there now? There's nothing for him, in my opinion, that would be beneficial for him going there to do anything. That's why I'm confused.
If he signs something, it's for the remainder year that he did not do to go to Fozzy. He hasn't worked since last April, so they might have added a year service time, maybe,
Probably.
or even that's what it is. And he added that service time, and I'm done. No holds, no hold me back, none of this stuff, and that's it. That's why I see where Jericho is going to go. He's 54 years old. I mean, and I'm like, oh, but you guys want him in WWE. The only reason why we want him in WWE is just so he could retire. He is a great WCW, the first unified world champion. He has a lot of history when it comes to WWE, and that's why they want him there. It's not that we're craving for him to have a match with CM Punk or Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams. We just want him to get his proper send-off in the wrestling business. He started there, go and finish it off, retire, and call it, and that's it. The proper send-off to a wrestling veteran, if it makes sense.
The segments will hit better with Jericho and WWE, and everybody knows that. It's just, there is no segment in AEW where people are going to be like, oh, man, I can't wait to see Chris Jericho. It's just not going to happen.
Well, why can't Jericho stay in AEW? Because you guys don't want him in AEW. You guys keep saying, retire, go retire. You guys disrespectful to Chris Jericho in AEW. The video footage is there from the arenas. How could you just stand there and be naive about it? Oh, why can't he stay in AEW? Because he got the freaking backlash from the fans. That's why.
The AEW.
Does he deserve that? No, he doesn't deserve that.
Is Dave Meltzer going to give Chris Jericho any props with stars? No.
Dude, a lot of the AEW diehards, they fell out of Chris Jericho when the learning tree stuff. They fell out of it, man. He hasn't done anything interesting on AEW television since when was the last time he was interesting in AEW? I can't even remember.
They didn't want
2024 maybe. That was like towards the end. Or 2024 is like the end of his AEW popularity, in my opinion. What's there to him to do? The fans don't, dude. It was clear as day. The last couple of times he was on Dynamite, he was being booed. And I've been watching the AEW since day one. I'm gonna tell you right now, he brings, like, I don't want to say he doesn't bring anything, because again, if he's not the big signing, they probably don't land on TBS. He's a big part of them building up the company. He's their first champion, whatever. Moxley's debut is something to remember. But what in 2026 can he add to anything besides his knowledge, which the guys backstage don't give a shit about?
All right. I mean, the best case scenario for Chris Jericho is be like MVP for the Hurt Syndicate. That's the best bet for him.
And if he does that, I wouldn't mind that. If he does that for the AEW, a managerial role like that's not bad. That's not a bad role. But does he want that?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, I don't know what Chris Jericho wants in AEW. I think he just wants the cash. But I don't know from a working standpoint. I don't know what he wants.
That's the thing. We don't know. The same thing with McAfee. Is McAfee going to be a mouthpiece? Don't know.
I mean, that might just be a one-off. Honestly, I don't know.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Look, I like Jericho. Wherever he stays, I'm at least like you say. I've got his bottle. I've got 2 bottles of champagne of Jericho sitting in my kitchen that I've shown many times. Yeah, no, seriously, I've shown many times on air. Chris has it. I don't want to go get it because I don't want to have a chance of breaking it or whatever the case is. It's there. I showed it many times on stream. I'm a big fan of Jericho. My wife says, why did he stay there? They don't want him there. Even she's not a ref, she's a casual. Says they don't like him. Why stay somewhere where you're not liked? Because of money. If he's making more money, I'm not going to tell him never the most money as possible. And maybe you're right. Maybe he doesn't like the way the corporate TKO is going. But a lot of these wrestlers, they just want to get paid. They couldn't care less if the fans could afford a ticket or not. As long as they pay my bills, who cares?
That's right. They don't.
The crowd welcome Chris. Chris, you got to read this from Aaron. Aaron, we love you, man. I know we're having a healthy debate. We're having a healthy debate, and you're cool as hell. But the crowd did not welcome Jericho back with open arms, kid. I don't know what you heard because Chris broke that down. I didn't watch it, so I can't. That's why Chris is the perfect one to speak about that. The crowd did not open Chris Jericho for open arms. He did not receive one, and that's the hometown boy. According to let Chris, I don't want. I'm speaking out of my side of my audio for him. As he stepped out for a minute, which is his segment. But let's look. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Oli wrestling. It's not my cup of coffee. I try not to be too negative. They're moving up in ratings. This is why MJF cannot lose the world title. Haas.
Oh yeah, trust me, I cannot wait till we start talking about Big Hebrew. That's the guy. But
let me ask this, Chris, read this statement. Aaron says the crowd was cheering and Jericho with open arms.
What were you, Aaron? No, they weren't. Why do you think Jericho was in the ring? Come on.
We said watch the replay.
I will. I'll watch the replay right now. You're lucky I can't put it on the screen.
Because I watched it live and I had to replay it myself. It was okay. I overplayed it a bit when I heard it.
For Chris Jericho coming back in his hometown after we haven't seen him in a year, it was fucking lame. The crowd was lame.
Yeah, the music was louder than them because I thought the crowd was loud. The music was louder than them.
Okay, let me ask this. Louder pop, Mike Santana or Chris Jericho?
Oh, it's not even close. It's not even close. Mike Santana got the bigger pop.
I'm watching it right now. The first 20 seconds, I'm listening to it. He's literally going like this. The crowd's just fucking standing there. The one guy's like this, not even moving. Nobody's moving.
What they doing, Chris? They're not doing what?
They're not doing anything. They're just standing there. And he's going like this. And nobody's fucking doing anything. Come on.
Again,
right here.
I didn't watch the segment, so I can't comment.
I'm crying. Chris up here doing jumping jacks. He said,
Speedball Mike Bailey, who's a fucking Canadian in the main event going against the American hero. And nobody even sent a peep for him. He barely got any cheers.
Oh, please don't get us started with Speedball right now.
And I actually think he's under.
Oh my God. Man. This is the AEW.
Man. Let's talk about Speedball because I actually think he's had some good matches. Him and Kyle Fletcher was a good match. Him and the Owen against Okada was a good match. Him and versus MJF this past Wednesday, it was a good match. Obviously, we're not expecting him to win, but I thought it was fine. I don't know if I see Mike Bailey in the world championship picture anytime soon, but I think he was fine. I think, the main event was good. It was classic American Canada. The crowd even got into it a little bit. The crowd was more into the fuck the tariff chants than they were into Jericho.
Man, okay. Speedball barefoot. I am not a fan. I'm gonna just tell you, I'm not a fan because he's a good in-ring wrestler. I'm gonna be positive with this one. I'm gonna start off. He's a good in-ring wrestler, but that's where this stops. The promos are terrible. Yes. The presentation, he's a flimsy-looking man. It just honestly, he hit those little kicks and the punches and stuff. Like, man, I can't have my world champion look like that. He can't get me ready for big name fights. You think I'm finna go pay $50 to watch Speedball Mike Bailey in the main event? I'm not doing that. I'm not. I'm just being dead serious. Oh, I'm gonna go to All In Wembley. Oh, Speedball barefoot versus Will Ospreay.
Oh my God.
No, sir. No.
The sad thing is, when they had their match at TNA Bound for Glory, I thought that match was fucking perfect. But yeah, nowadays, I agree, dude. I agree, and I don't think him paired with Kevin Knight, like I like that for him because it gives him something to do in terms of a tag team. But again, Kevin Knight I think he's going to be the breakout guy.
Man, Kevin Knight needs to get away from Speedball as fast as he can. I want him to go up here and get with Swerve or something. Go join the Hurt Syndicate. I don't care. man, Speedball needs to be. He's a man by himself. I can see him getting over by himself with those little kicks in the mid card for the national championship. I can see that. But him and Kevin Knight together is jet speed, boy. They're not going to respect that. They're just not. And again, he's a good in-ring wrestler. It's the presentation. This is an aesthetics business. And Speedball Barefoot is not making me spend $50 for a pay-per-view for 6 hours. Just not.
No offense, Aaron. We're not JD from New York to gaslight people. That's something that I don't ever want to do. Gaslight or rage on people. Not like the way you've been putting comments on.
Deserve it. I will.
I don't believe in that. I don't, if I'm not going to claim I love everything. I'm going to tell you what I don't like, but I'm not going to gas anyone. No offense. That's the last thing. I did take a little bit of a disrespect with the gaslighting because I do not want to gaslight anyone. I want to give you my opinions, my thoughts, and my maybe I can't speak for anyone on my panel, but for me, in my perspective, I'm too old to be going around and try to gaslight anyone. This is who I am. This is why I am. This is the way I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to think. There's no offense. We're adults about it. I'm just letting you know from where I'm coming from.
I'm just telling you what I heard, and I didn't hear it. I'm looking at it right now. It's literally the front half of the crowd. You look at everybody else in the back, they're standing there like dummies. I'm not saying anything to be I'm not trying to be negative. The crowd looks good. They looked good on TV, and Jericho's back. Just wasn't the pop that he should have gotten. I thought he should have got a bigger pop. He's literally going like this.
Yeah, it just shows you the status of the AEW fandom now. It's like they have moved on from Chris Jericho.
That's all. That's all we're trying to say.
That's all it is. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all it is.
Because again, it's just a different fan base from WWE. I mean, WWE is sports entertainment. Yeah. AEW, they want to see people lay stuff in, look like you're legitimately about to die out there. That's what AEW fans want.
And I want to clarify this. I am one of those AEW fans. I don't know why people sit here and think I hate AEW. If I hated AEW, you think I would be going to bed at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night. But no.
Like me.
I stay here and I fucking cover it.
Bro, Wednesdays I go to bed at 9 and 8:30. Wednesdays I go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. With zero care. There's a wrestling show on Wednesday nights. I don't even watch Evolve.
People were telling me I was the sicko, and because I did like AEW. I enjoyed the product. I'm enjoying AEW now more than I am WWE. So don't tell me that I fucking hate AEW.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, from watching it on the other side of the fence, they are having a better
I'm enjoying AEW. Program. I enjoyed Revolution a hell of a lot more than Elimination Chamber and the Rumble this year.
I only have one gripe with AEW. The pay-per-views are too long. That's the only gripe I got. That's it. We won't
cover it.
I cover it. I do it on. I covered Revolution. I do it the Monday. So Dynasty 12. I'll do my review the 13th. That's my only complaint.
Yeah, but they're on Saturdays. Maybe Saturdays I'll do it, but not
Saturdays. I won't even do it after the show. I don't know. They go on until fucking midnight.
Trust me, I commend JD and Jesse for putting on a show after a 6 hour
paper. So do I. And Jesse does the watch along and then goes on with JD. Holy shit.
There's no way.
There's no way. No, there's no way. And especially I cover football. Saturday nights. Yeah, no, I'm in bed getting ready for football. And when the Steelers play international, when we have international games, they play at 10 a.m. Not happening.
That's not happening.
This is not a wrestling take, Chris. We are enemies because I'm a Browns fan.
Get the fuck out of here. Wait. Do you like college football?
By the way, where you are? Where's home? What state is home?
Would you like the Buckeyes?
Oh well, I'm in Mississippi. This is where I'm down. I'm down south. Okay. Yeah, but I'm nowhere near Cleveland. Cleveland is it's a family thing for me. So
okay.
That's how I started liking them. But I do like the Buckeyes too. But yes,
there we go,
sir. You in the Steel City, boo.
Oh my God, yeah.
Us, my pain is Jets.
We could both agree that we hate Baltimore, though.
Yes, that is a fact.
We have that in common. We both hate Baltimore.
Kev, you as a Jets fan, me as a Browns fan, I even tell you I feel sorry for you, and I'm a Browns fan.
I've seen the Giants win Super Bowls. I like the Giants as well, but I'm going to be honest with you. I lean more Jets than Giants.
At least you don't have a quarterback on your team that we pay that did not play. At least you don't have that.
Yeah, but at least he gets happy endings.
No, if he still did, he's probably still be good. That's a whole different subject, but yeah.
But no, let's wrap this here. This AEW talk here. The build for Dynasty has been pretty good. Looks like a good card.
We got some good matches. I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm. They got some good matches.
I'm excited for it. I'll be here with you guys the Monday after. What time will to be announced, but I'll be here. I'm covering it. They got Kenny and MJF, FTR versus Cope and Christian, Will Ospreay versus Moxley. So be on the lookout for Dynasty. I think it's one thing we can agree on is that obviously the pay-per-views, they don't miss. I think they, for the most part, pretty good. Maybe Revolution, they threw a lot at us with the returns and all that stuff with Ronda. Ospreay was their first pay-per-view of the year. So let's see how Dynasty goes. But again, what like Hoss says and like everybody else says, they're just too damn long.
Yeah, they're extremely long.
I am scared of Kenny Omega right now. I'm scared.
Because
scared that he's gonna win?
I am scared that Tony Khan wants to swerve it and put that belt on him. I am scared.
Yeah, so am I, because I think if Darby versus Andrade, if Darby wins, he gets the challenger. I think they might want to set up Darby versus Darby Allin, or Kenny versus Darby, when it should be Darby versus MJF.
Sir, I may not watch Dynamite for 2 or 3 weeks.
If Kenny Omega is the champion, I
can't do it.
My review shows are gonna be a lot different.
Look, remember, he's an EVP.
Man, that's why I want to. That's why I want to Swerve to win.
Gotta be. He's an EVP, and creative control in that company runs wild, brother.
Man, he gave us a decent promo on Wednesday, and it was still bad. I'm just not. Kenny Omega being the god of pro wrestling in ring, they could have that. He cannot talk on that mic at all. It's boring.
No.
Could you really? Do you want to hear a promo off between Darby Allin and Kenny Omega right now?
No, I rather hear it with Darby and MJF.
There you go.
Because when we saw the 4 pillars thing, you know how when we saw Darby and MJF, like just them alone, I thought it was interesting. MJF calling him something, paraphrasing, like a dumb, mindless-headed mime, and he started going like this, and then it's fun. Yes, I like it. And look, I know Kev does not like Darby Allin. Darby Allin,
right with him.
Well, I Darby Allin's one of my favorites in AEW. And the reason why I don't so much is wrestling, whatever, but I do like when, especially in the beginning, where you feel a little bit of realism. Like I think with any wrestler, where you can relate a little bit to their stories and all that stuff. I like that, but again, some of the shit he does is just mind blowing. I don't like it, but I think he's a good baby face at the end of the day that people do like to challenge MJF. And I think you keep the title on MJF, keep the ball rolling with him. And, him and Darby probably be a double or nothing.
Look, I wouldn't mind it.
Kenny Omega should get a title run, but not now. You can't take a chance when you have 700,000 back-to-back 700,000 viewers. People are talking about the product. WWE's on a low right now, down with even in the WrestleMania season. They're getting a little momentum. You got to keep you're going to New York for the Louis Armstrong for one of the pay-per-views.
And then Wembley right title. After that. You have to have Will Ospreay, and
I don't even think he should win the title. I think MJF should hold that title longer, man. I don't see Ospreay either. Ugh.
I agree, but what I was gonna say is but yeah, I agree. What I was gonna say is they need to be building for the match, Ospreay and MJF at Wembley, because when they had their match at the last Wembley, I think it's one of the best out of the 2 all-ins. That's my second favorite match.
They tore the house down.
They tore the house down. Ospreay and for the international title, where MJF was still playing his American gimmick. That was awesome. Imagine that being the main event with an actual build, guys. That's what they need to be doing at All In. And I think they are. I think they know that's the direction. And I hope Ospreay doesn't get stuck in the continental shit with Moxley. I hope whatever happens at Dynasty, they break him out of that. The Owen's going to start soon, and that's when they'll get the ball on Will Ospreay. But for now, Kenny, and then they're going to transition. Darby's going to beat Andrade, and Darby's going to have the next match at Double or Nothing. Okay. That's how I see it playing out.
I can buy that. I
don't think it's storytelling. I think it's in-ring, guys.
We talking about with Omega?
No, with the whole AEW. They're not telling great stories. They're just having better in-ring.
Oh, no, that's the big focus at AEW. It's all about in-ring, and that's why some of the shows you get lost in them because you're like,
yes,
oh man, I'm just seeing matches. The matches are always good. I cannot come on anybody's stream and say, oh, the match was terrible at AEW. No, it's just a lot of people I don't care to see at the time. It's just honestly,
I give their main event scene credit. I think. I think when it comes to like their women's booking, I think Tekla's great, but they don't really till Mercedes comes back. I don't really think they'll have a story or anything going there. The tag team championships, I mean, they have that, but it's felt very repetitive with FTR and Christian. And I think the real story, the story that they have going on is that world championship scene, and it's because MJF has the title.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get rid of MJF as your world champion.
Right.
Yes.
The shelf life of the main event scene is probably going to last maybe to the end of this year.
Omega's winning because he wins. He is taking off Hangman's kick.
Mercedes is not coming back to the WWE.
No,
Mercedes isn't coming back.
No. But yeah, but what I was saying about the main event scene, that can last to the end of 2026. But they really got to develop some longer stories to get it to keep going. That's the biggest thing. Because we're getting to a point where you're going to start running rematches with people. Go have such and such round 3, such and such round 4.
Yeah, like the Bucks and FTR.
Yeah, you don't want to see that in your main event scene.
No.
Like we're going to get Tony and Mercedes whenever Tony comes back. We're going to have part 2. So.
And that's why it's, they have such a big roster. Why not continue as we say what's going on to everyone? Got Devin in the building. Salute Devin. Yeah, we got so many. They have such a bloated roster, and just to see where they go. Look, we can't get too mad when we see Kevin Knight wrestle, but you don't need 2-3 segments with a Kevin Knight. You don't need, spread the wealth a little bit around. Spread the wealth around with some of the wrestlers that you haven't gotten in the building for All Elite Wrestling. We'll see where that goes. Now it leaves me. Let's take one more quick break for our sponsor. We'll talk about Total Nonstop Action because they were on fire this past Thursday. Final break here before we call it in. Let's hear from G Fuel.
All right. Before we keep this energy going, shout out to the sponsor of tonight's stream, G Fuel Energy. If you're watching this live, you already know. We don't do slow reactions. We don't do low energy. We stay locked in. And that's exactly what G Fuel brings to the table. Zero sugar, loaded with focus, and built for long streams just like this. Whether you're grinding, gaming, or watching chaos unfold with us, G Fuel keeps you going. Hit the link in the description, use code PGHCHRIS, and level up your energy the same way we do on Sports Jedi Network. Let's get back to it.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Thank you, Tom Hannafin. Let's go right into it, man. Post-sacrifice fallout, we had title matches, faction warfare, and the Hardy drama. Chris, where would you like to start off? Because I got to give flowers here to the bunkhouse match. To me, I'm going to go right into it. Tessa defeating Jody Threat in the first ever knockouts, brutal bunkhouse match. Haas, I watched this. Your thoughts with those ladies brought it, bro.
Man, Tessa, all flowers to her. And think about it too. She actually reposted what I said about her on Thursday night. Man, she put on a show with Jody Threat. Shout out to both those women. They were laying their stuff in. I bought every bit. I was really bought in. They need to do this. I'm not gonna say they need to do it too much more, but more often with the ladies, because this was a big blow off match for them. And I was happy with the result. This shows you how powerful Tessa is in the knockouts division. They need to put that belt on her. That's how I feel about it.
We all say that. Chris, your go.
I'm happy I came back. Sorry, my aunt and they're coming in and out like yesterday, so I'm just saying goodbye and stuff. But I've been saying this for years since I met Kev. Tessa Blanchard needs to be your TNA Women's Champion, but they're not going to put it on her because of all the outside bullshit that has been going on. And I knew it since day one. It is ridiculous. Every time I look, I love TNA. Love TNA. TNA was like the way I feel about AEW, I felt about TNA because it gave me something different other than WWE when I was a kid, because I didn't get to live the WCW era. So I will always have my love for TNA. But the one reason I gravitated towards TNA was the women, was the knockouts. Not because I thought Velvet Sky and Taryn Terrell and a lot of these women were hot, but it's because they were, when you look at Awesome Kong and Gail Kim, it was just different from what everybody else was doing with their women's division at the time. I look at it now, I watch this match now, I get that same, not that same feeling, but watching this, I'm like, why aren't these two ladies at the top of your card? No disrespect to Ying Ying Lee. I don't understand a fucking word she says, ever. She's a great wrestler. She has that, but her and Xia Brookside are the two most boring wrestlers I've ever seen. What happened to that identity? What happened to the characters in the Knockouts division? Tessa's the only one, in my opinion, that brings that. I like Ash. I think the Maggies of the world are coming up. I think the Mila Moores are coming up. I think they have talent there, but the talent that we are currently now, Ariana Grace is good in what she's doing. I have no problem with her being the champion. But in the end game, when I look at it as a whole, Tessa Blanchard is the only person in that Knockouts division that is worthy of carrying a freaking brand.
Because I remember. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
I remember y'all were talking about it last week about how the baby faces. You were talking about Mara Sade and formerly Cora. What's her name now?
Elena Black.
Yeah, Elena Black.
Elena Black Navarro.
Okay. Yeah, y'all were talking about the ladies and how they don't really they don't really distance themselves from each other. They all seem the same. So if you bring Tessa Blanchard to be this all-encompassing heel, you could build up one of these ladies to be that baby face that you need. So yes, go ahead and put that on Tessa and just roll with it. And this is a big problem in wrestling. The fandom does not believe in forgiveness. We need to be able to forgive people for miscues. Now, if it's a trend and it keeps going, I understand. But it's time to forgive Tessa for those things. And that's what Chris was talking about. The fans do not forgive people at all. Like if you step on my toe one time, forever, then, now, and forever, you'll never be forgiven. We cannot be that way. These are human beings. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're gonna say things that people don't like. We're gonna do things that don't work out sometimes. You gotta be willing to forgive people, and that's a big problem in the IWC with wrestling people as a whole.
Well said. I think. Look, I've said Tessa. Tessa should put that knockout title on Tessa, and she should have a very long run. Over a year run if it's possible. Until they have that real strong female baby face that is making a movement in TNA wrestling. Like, my goodness, separate above and beyond, and say, you know what? Until one of you ladies in the locker room step up to the level of Tessa and on the microphone and over with the crowd, this title's staying on Tessa. She gets it. Look at her match with Jody, with the way her registering of the moves and the selling on when she received from Jody Threat. She made Jody Threat look like the biggest badass out there. She looked more credible when she was against Tessa than when she took on the NXT champion for her knockouts title match. It didn't feel like, I felt like Jody held back, didn't outshine or whatever. It just didn't feel natural. It felt better. That match with her and Tessa match of the year for TNA wrestling right now. It's early, but that was the match of the year,
especially easily. In that knockouts division.
Mm-hmm. That was great. That was so phenomenal there. And then to see John Mitchell, Gage Mitchell's return at the end of the wear. By the way, I love what they're doing with the storytelling. They're on AMC. They're the home of drama, and they're doing backstage with Rosemary. I'm bringing in Havoc, Crazy Steve, now James Mitchell in the Realm World. I like it. Yeah, it's giving you something different.
No, I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it at all. I think they could use something different, especially with Rosemary. So I'm complaining sitting here about the Knockouts division, so I'm open to whatever. I'm open to the fucking bunny rabbit if she wants to do something at this point.
Oh, the rabbit?
The bunny making her TNA return.
Like I'm new to all these characters because I just started watching TNA when they got the AMC, so I'm really enjoying what they're putting down right now.
Nice, man.
I like Indy Hartwell, Devin, and I seen her in NXT and see her grow and rise, but she still doesn't talk me into the building yet. That's all with her.
And
she doesn't talk me into the building.
If they were gonna put it on her, they should have done it a while ago.
Like this, what a lot of people don't understand. Like promos help a lot. Like we just can't be putting people out here just to fight. We got to be able to sell these fights. And a lot of people do not. They just don't want it. They don't care because they're like, it's too much talking in a wrestling show. We need some of this talking. We need some of it just to move narratives along. So.
Yeah, no, I think they had a good show. They had a good show this week.
Didn't Tessa take on Indy Hartwell at Slammiversary? The match, I mean, nothing really came out of it. Just that
nothing
Tessa
came out of it. Yeah, nothing
got
came
suspended.
out. Just with Gia Miller. That's the only thing that came out
that's
of
it. That's it. Indy hasn't really. And look, I always say this time and time again with Indy, she's the people's champion. She was our NXT people's champion. What I mean by that, whenever NXT goes on those long breaks on a on a Tuesday night, she will come out, take pictures with everyone, meet and greet everyone while they're in a commercial break. Indy is that person. Indy's that girl. She's really sweet. One of the best babyface that you could get there, but she's not there yet. She's not there to be the face of the Knockouts division for TNA right now. It's okay for us to hate Tessa as a heel, to be that obstacle, that mountain that these women can't get over yet in TNA wrestling. And I wish they would pull that trigger. Let her out there. Let her. Maybe if it is her moving away from Victoria, maybe she really doesn't add anything right now. It's great that she's working in wrestling. It's great that she's in the business still, but she's not really adding anything. And maybe Mila Moore under her wing. Yeah, maybe she's too new to give criticism towards her because she's in the business. When it comes to Victoria, she's been in the business for a while, and she's not really. I don't know. She's not elevating that brand. When I mean brand is the Diamond Exchange or Diamond Club that she's with those three ladies, and we'll see where it goes. I want to see Tessa be world champion. It's time to make her Knockouts champion. Let her be that obstacle. I don't know if they'll pull the trigger. I don't know if they will, but bravo, ladies. You guys bought it. And also, first time ever, the Knockouts title main event on AMC to close out the show. One thing TNA had, they had a great Knockouts division before we lost Marsha Slamovich, Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace. They're revamping, but they put the ladies on and they deliver. Great job there. The eight-man tag that was bought at the opening of the contest. Your thoughts on Eddie Edwards getting a second pin on Mike Santana, Chris?
Interesting, but I don't see him winning at Rebellion. I like it. It gives Eddie Edwards the momentum. He is in a heel faction. That's all I really got out of it, just to give him a little bit of momentum going into Rebellion and to make it seem like, hey, I just pinned you twice, whatever, and makes him a legit threat to Mike Santana at Rebellion. But I don't see Eddie Edwards winning. I think we know who I think is going to take the title off Santana, and I think it's going to be Nick Nemeth.
Really? Okay.
Listen, uber Mike Santana fans. We've had the privilege of interviewing him twice. This sits in my room all day. I'm a huge Mike Santana fan. Love the guy to death. But let's be honest, Nick Nemeth is the biggest star in that company.
Fair.
That's why I see him taking it away from Santana. Don't get me wrong, Santana's on top. I'm just talking about worldwide recognition. At this point in the career, it's Nick Nemeth. Mike Santana is the hottest TNA wrestler right now, and that's our guy. But if I have to look at the business, we talk about business, it's Nick Nemeth. Okay.
I will rebut with this. They are trying to push the system heavy. And how are they going to legitimize the system without putting that belt on Eddie Edwards?
Fair. Fair. No, I think that's a very fair question. I think you could have. Yeah, it's tough because if they would have like Bear Brunson and Cedric or whoever go for the tag team titles against the Hardys or whoever, that does leave your leader without a championship. So you know what? You could be right. You could be right. He could be right, Kev.
He could be right, but here's where I think everyone else in the system is going to win gold. I think Cedric beats Leon for that X Division title, and I think the tag team titles are going to Myers and Brunson. They're
Myers and Brunson. Yeah.
I think Edwards is going to fail for some reason. It's just something is going to cross the line where I could see. I don't know. I don't see him winning the title. I don't see Eddie Edwards right now because I always say this: May 1st, and I know it's not a TNA wrestling event and it's not an AEW wrestling event, or May 2nd, MJF is wrestling Nick Nemeth. Wouldn't it great on an independent scene if you got your TNA champion versus your AEW champion in an independent match for Creator Pro? I mean, that's just interesting to see. I'm just a little worried. I'm a little worried as a Santana fan. I'm a little worried. I don't know if he comes out of Rebellion as your champion, but not at the end of Eddie Edwards. I think of Nick Nemeth. But Nick Nemeth has got a problem with. We've got a reveal. We've got another reveal on TNA Wrestling. AJ Francis. I thought this was going to be Ryan Nemeth attacking his brother, but AJ Francis was the one that attacked Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth is bringing Bernie Kosar. Haas, what are your thoughts? I'll be right back. Give me a second.
Man, that really surprised me. I'm like, Bernie just had surgery not too long ago. Now we finna see Bernie on TNA television. I kind of popped for it. I'm like, where did this even come from for Nick Nemeth? I know he's from Cleveland. He must got some real big pull up there. So this was a very big thing. You might see 300,000 come out for this now on Impact on Thursday. You may see a big bump. 300 might be ambitious, but 275. Cleveland has a big fan base, and they love them some Bernie Kosar. You might get a week about 275.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. I don't know, man. I definitely think they're capable. They're capable of doing that. There was one thing with this show that I forgot what I wanted to talk about. But I'm trying to find it, chat. There was something specific that I wanted to talk about. I totally forgot. Anyway, yeah, it was fun. But shout out to Aaron, Santana proud always. We appreciate you, brother.
There we go. Santana proud. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you on that. Bernie Kosar, part of that. I love it. For Mike Santana, Nick Nemeth, AJ Francis. Rebellion is starting to be a stat card for that. TNA does a good job there. I wanted to talk about the signing of Ricky Sosa. I'm excited for him. I was like, and man, I even used the promo to promote the show today.
That's what I wanted to talk about, Haas, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to...
Okay.
Yeah, look, real quick. That's because I was telling Haas before you left, there was something important that I wanted to talk about with TNA. Exactly what you brought up, Ricky Sosa. That's just the talent, guys, that TNA needs to be going after. Not expecting them to get a big name in the free agent market when these guys' contract from AEW, WWE get released. They need to be signing the local hot, not local hot, but the big hot indie guys that are making a name, that are young, that could resonate. Theme songs are a big part, especially now. I know you weren't a big fan of Leon switching his theme, but his theme is made by a very, very popular UK artist, rapper that the teenagers really resonate with. So they're youth, they're going with the youth, and I think this is the type of talent TNA needs to be going forward, when they can't sign a big free agent.
Yeah, I believe they're going to prep Ricky for whenever Leon does depart, because Leon's going to NXT. It's going to happen. So they're going to use Ricky to replace him. I believe that's what it's going to be. And he brings a lot of juice. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his matches, so I need to do my homework on that. But from what I have seen from him, he's impressive.
Haas, you know what's impressive with Ricky Sosa? The height.
Yeah. Was he about 6'5"?
Dude, he's a big dude.
He's a tall dude.
I love it. And Leon is a tall dude, too. Like you said, I said it immediately. That's Leon Slater's going to get replaced by Ricky Sosa and a BDE. 2 for 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going to need it for them to replace the Leon Slater when he departs for greener pastures. I'm going for.
Yeah.
Speaking of departing for possibly greener pastures or creative frustration, Danny Luna. Now, Danny Luna no longer part of the TNA wrestling. Her last match will be this Thursday, which was done in New Orleans. Requested a release, granted a release from TNA wrestling. For Danny Luna, I know a lot of the IWC TNA fans were very disappointed, upset, thought she had a knockouts title run, should have been champion, all that good stuff. I get back to this. You put that microphone on her. Danny Luna is not getting me excited to want to see her be knockouts champion. Number one contenders, yes, putting in the match. But she's not a face of a knockouts division. Chris, I know me and you kind of feel
more impressive, and like you said, she's boring as hell. Wish her all the best, but she's going to be in the Indies. That's all I got for her. We talked about this for a while. We talked about this off air. What is there for her to do? She's not going to go to fucking NXT. She's not going to go to AEW. She's going to go to the Indies. And I genuinely wish her the best because I think she can have those tough matches in the Indies like GCW. That's where she's going to end up, Kev, is GCW.
Or MLW. I mean,
or MLW. Again, wish her the best. But I'm not losing sleep over it.
No, and people are losing sleep over Haas.
Why?
Yeah, think about it. Like when you talk about talents like Danny Luna, like I say, she's impressive in ring. It's a lot of people that are impressive in the ring, but that's just not going to be able to sell you tickets. Like that's good indie. Like you say, she's going to go to the Indies. That might make you watch HOG, and that's good for her to be on the card. But we get her to go to NXT or AEW, like she's just gonna be lost in the shuffle. And then next thing you know, she gets released maybe a year later. You're like, oh man, they hating on her. They ain't give her a shot. I'm like, everybody up here can wrestle. Every last one of them can wrestle. Can you entertain? And that's the biggest thing that goes on with this. I like Danny Luna. I liked her on television. But again, what makes her stand out other than her size with those women? Nothing else. And it's not a knock against her. It's just, I know you reposted this tweet I had the other day. We got to make stars out of boring people again. A lot of these people are actually, they're boring. They need a little help. That's all. They just need someone to speak for them. And like you say they don't want to pay these people salaries. But do you want your television show to be good? Like, do you want ROI? Like, do you want the return on your investment of these wrestlers? They need some help. That's all it is. Everybody ain't gonna be out here like The Rock. I mean, that's a generational talent. Everybody with modern day people ain't gonna be like MJF. Like everybody's just not built that way. A lot of people they're not prepared to take criticism for being a bad guy on the mic or actually being exuberant as a babyface on the mic. Most baby faces we're disenchanted with these days because they come off so corporate and boring. But we need to help these wrestlers out because they do a lot of extraordinary things in the ring. They just need a little help talking. That's it.
Yeah, the gift of gab is very important these days. And if you could talk someone into arena, at the end of the day, you got to make us want to open our wallets, especially now with all the complaints with TKO being expensive. And I think that's why they rely on the celebrities because, maybe I want to go see this wrestler. Oh, this one's involved. Maybe that's the new thing. I'll pay because a lot of the wrestlers aren't talking you into the building any day, all across the board. How many times, the certain wrestlers are not really getting you there to bring you in. So for Danny Luna, she didn't really resonate me for her getting on the microphone when she spoke to bring me want to go out of my way to subscribe and watch her. It's not. I'm sorry. It's just not happening right now. Tessa does. Tessa speaks. I want to hear it regardless because she's going to sing someone. She's going to get there. She's going to hit her bullet points. Sorry, Ying Lee doesn't either. Neither does I am a big fan of Xia Brookside, which I think she's going to turn on Ying Lee in the pay-per-view, but that's another. We'll talk about that next week. I think she's going to turn on her, but she could use a character change or a makeup change or whatever they call the case is. But I thought TNA best show all week from start to bottom. That whole card was just entertaining. 2 quick hours from AJ Francis and the Hometown Man. 8-man tag action, the bunkhouse brawl, the Hardys and the Righteous. Now they're getting a table a fun tables match, a tag team title tables match, which is going to be great to see those guys in chaos. Where, you know, let's face it, the Hardys going to be probably doing more gimmick matches where then you're not going to get your Chris classic graps match because of their age and you know they're going to rely on the specialty matches for the Hardys. I'm okay with it, guys.
Is it fair to say that Tommy Dreamer's Booker of the Year so far?
Oh, easy. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. As long as he doesn't do what he did at Full Sail.
That's why I
Santana.
can't give him Booker of the Year yet. If this year, depending on how this year, I still got to see how he plays the Santana losing the title.
Okay. Fair enough. But he's the front runner.
Okay.
He's the front runner, right?
That's a fair conversation.
He's the front runner.
You're going to tell Sean Ross Sapp about that. See how he feels about those awards later on.
I mean, you should be listening to the Golden Saber Awards.
Maybe we'll have you on this year.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna bounce out of here because we're gonna come back in a couple hours for Stand and Deliver. So we're gonna go have some lunch or breakfast, eat all that good stuff. Haas, if you're more than welcome to join us. We'll be doing on YouTube and on Rumble. With everyone, we'll talk after I run the outro. Off that, Aaron, if as well, you're more than welcome on our channel. All you have to just ask. You gotta say, Aaron.
We'll be at NWA tonight.
Oh, that's right. He's going to NWA. That's right.
He's going to the NWA match.
That's right. The Crockett Cup. He's excited on that one. That's right. The Crockett Cup. But anyways, that's our show. Hit like, subscribe, follow Haas Knuckle Bro at Filthy Haas. You see that there, the Filthy Haas, excuse me. And you see that there. Follow us as all that. Of course, we appreciate everyone. We'll be back on like always, guys. We'll talk to you later here on the Sports Jedi Network. I'm gonna run the outro. And yes.